The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios, Windy City After Dark, live cast Q&A, or as Ivy Raven put it, the Anything Goes stream, apparently. I wasn't aware, I didn't catch that memo, but it's the Anything Goes episode. This is where, of course, we're going to get together and you can ask us any questions you have. Sometimes we have questions for each other, and we discuss the events of Season 6, sometimes plans for Season 7, sometimes the earlier seasons than that. It's your chance to ask any questions you have. Now, I'm going to say right off, if you have a question, the best way to make sure it gets noticed is in the bottom left of your chat window. It almost looks like a bowling ball. You click it for boons and you highlight your message. It makes it very easy for my wife, who does the question and answer portion of it, for her to actually notice them. And now I'm going to let the cast introduce themselves, because if you don't know that I'm Shanky McStabber, well, I'm sorry. Because I am.
Hi, everybody. I am Relindair, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and in Windy City After Dark, I predominantly play Jacqueline Duran, but I occasionally play some SBCs for special one-shots and things.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red in Windy City. I play Isabella Caputo.
Hello, I am the Ivy Raven. I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel, and I've also played a child of Jackie and another SPC in a one-shot. So
I'm Urian, and I'm playing Roscoe Akers in Windy City. I'm part of the Best Clan.
Sorry, that threw me off. I am Brad, a Temper Brad 411 in chat, and I play Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hekata, the actual Best Clan, other than Salubri.
And I found my mute button. I am Gavin, and I play the Marcade of the real, actual Best Clan, Clan La Sombra. I also have just discovered Old Bay seasoning, and it's amazing. Just want to get that out there.
Yes, we had an entire conversation about how glorious Old Bay seasoning is for everyone here in the cast that has never been exposed to it. If you have not been exposed to Old Bay, you might want to try some, but be careful with your first attempt. You want to go easy with it.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored, because it's just amazing.
Yeah, hashtag not sponsored. I like that one. We'll use that somewhere. So we all know how this works, at least the cast does. For any new viewers we have, this is your chance to ask any questions you want of the cast. It can relate to the stream. It can relate to, sometimes we get things about other streams or role play history or our backgrounds in gaming and that kind of thing. But it's pretty much, this is for you, the viewers, to ask anything you want to hear. And for the cast, I mean, I know we're talking to each other every week as we record these episodes normally, but it's also a chance for the cast to get it on the record, I should say, because it doesn't really exist until it's on the record somewhere. This is official. So I'm going to turn it over to my wife, who's the MC of this particular event, because that's normally how she does it, and let her handle any kind of questions.
Okay, well, usually we start these off with going round table of the cast, but there's actually a question that addresses this, which is basically the question we always open up with, because Astral, KoFi, I will get to yours, promise, it's going to be next, but Astral actually asked our typical opener, favorite moments of season 6, both your most enjoyable to play through and the best to observe someone else play at the table. Whoever wants to take that first.
No, I'll jump off the bridge first. Best to observe, Isabella and Jackie going head up with Capone. That, I mean, we fought a werewolf this season, which was great, but also just watching the two of them go against Capone and winning was excellent. I'm just like, the whole time I'm just like, okay, please just hold on. Lamar's over here locking something down. Please, nobody get hurt until I'm done. And I mean, we all made it. We all made it. But just watching Isabella and Jackie go head to head with Capone was great, especially when he realized, like, oh crap. I was like, dodge one. Oh, I'm about to get hit by the other. So I thought that was really cool. My favorite for Lamar to actually do this season was to shoot at a werewolf with silver bullets, because I've never done that in a game. So, and it was great.
Okay, I'll be number 2 since I'd heard no silence for a little. Go ahead. I know, Ivy Raven, you go. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Suck the air out of the room, mister. No.
No fun allowed. I know.
Okay, so I was gonna say probably one of my favorite, and it was a long kind of drawn out scenes, as it were, in that this is not a diss or dig on the character of Isabella, but the character of Isabella heavily crystallized this season, and watching the scenes where, like, she's working with Lamar or she was doing stuff towards Nicholas, and you can see that there's this, like, the character went from being, I don't want to say two-dimensional, but the character became very, like, three-dimensional quickly, and it was awesome to see. So that's why it was probably one of my favorite scenes, quote unquote. For me, it's kind of a similar thing in that it was the conclusion of, or up to this point, the conclusion of the Bobby story, doing the few, because it happened over a few episodes this season at the beginning of the season. So I kind of liked how it went from holy fuck at his house, where he's like, should have worn the red pants, to being in the Elysia, where he's like letting it all hang out. So yeah.
I mean, that's some good scenes.
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
So I would say for me, the heart to hearts for Nicholas, I thought, just because him as a character is still kind of coming to terms with kindred who aren't Clan of Death, and trying to put the group before the clan. I think for him, like, those were always really fun. And then to see, it's just, I gotta echo Gavin, the Jackie, Isabella fucking putting the hurt on Capone, or even Urian with Roscoe basically just like all of his interactions with Tracy this season have just been amazing. Which also goes to Shanky too, because
It wouldn't be much of a scene if I was there by myself. I've got a few.
Can
of them.
I?
Go ahead. You go first. I'm willing to
Okay.
go last. Trust me, I'm a storyteller. I'm more than willing to go last.
So my favorite with Isabella was definitely the pettiness that I was able to do between her and Nicholas. Like, it was fun to just be petty for once. And like not like have it be okay to be petty because that's so Isabella.
And I think you should touch on the behind the scenes that went with that one to make sure people understand that wasn't the back end.
So like during those, like going into it, like Brad and I, like we knew that there was gonna be conflict with it because we had talked about it a bit. We hadn't gone like in depth. But during it, like there was definitely like conversations going on to make sure that we weren't going too far with it and that we were both still comfortable and that we made it very clear with each other that it's not player versus player, it's characters. Our characters are having a conflict. I'm not actually mad at Brad or being petty at Brad. It's Isabella being petty with Nicholas. So those conversations were just happening in the background too. As far as favorite overall, I have to say that I really love the Valley Weather Bottom scenes, Morgan. Like, I thought that those are so good. Like, you started mentioning that, I was like, oh yes, like where she like accosted him in his house, which is so amazing. Just like you just like randomly appear behind him. He's like, hi, how you doing? It's great. Great. You got so much information from it, and just like the way that the scene played out was exactly like what I would want to see as like an audience member, to have like that suspense behind it.
I'm going last now, so go ahead.
All right. Well, my own personal favorite scenes throughout the season were those with Tracy. I really enjoyed that interaction a whole lot, and it opened up some possibilities for Roscoe to develop his character in moving away from the pyramid, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming up. For other overall season, I really enjoyed our finale with Jackie and Izzy tag teaming Capone while I'm getting my ass kicked.
It was just a little ass kicking.
It was a much needed ass kicking. Let's be real. I'm joking.
All right. So for me, favorite scenes that I did over the season. I'm going to be real. It was when Jackie basically let Cedric know she knew he was pretending to be Primogen Khaled. Yeah. That was a tense scene. I knew going in that Jackie may not walk out, depending on how Cedric reacted to that. And I'm glad that Shanky played Cedric as he did, because my character walked out with a new, very basically tight associate. So that worked out very good. But it was tense. It was tense going in. I had no idea how things were going to work out until they did. So that was great. And that's just one of many, because there's been a lot of scenes I've got to play in this season that were very tense, and I had no idea what I was going to get when I walked into it. But it was just a season full of that for me. But that one was really the pinnacle. I mean, legit, Jackie basically said something and he fucking hit a fucking kick switch that locked the goddamn door. I'm like, okay, now we're rolling. And favorite one I observed. That is going to be the conversation Lamar had with Nicholas. That heart-to-heart scene really showcased the trajectory that Lamar has been on. And I loved watching every minute of it because he literally started out as former Sabbat, joining the tower. He wasn't sure of his footing, didn't know, he thought he was loyal to Clan over Sect at the time. And then Clan fucked him over and he realized that his coterie had the back and he wasn't really tower first. He was more coterie first. And that just showed the fruition of that in that scene. And it was just beautiful to watch.
For me, it's hard to say one scene. There's a few larger storylines that I've really enjoyed running this season with that one, which is a combination of the scenes. I love what the players thought of Braden. They went into the first Braden scene with one thing. And then as the Braden scenes played out, it culminated in the coterie together, going through not just the initial stuff, but bits and pieces, trying to trace down what's going on here and watching the coterie get together and brainstorm what's wrong with this man's mind I loved it. I loved watching what was read right before we recorded saying, what about a red herring? Kind of a story idea for, Isabella Sire possibly being in New York, to me going, red herring my ass. Let's make that more than a red herring. Let's run with that shit. Other bits and pieces unrelated to that one. I loved Jackie's charity event and the way that you saw Luke send protesters and Lamar stepping up to deal with it. And then Jackie stepping in before it got real bad to pull Lamar out of there. Because had Lamar been left about another 2 or 3 minutes, it would have ended totally different. It would have been a murder scene. Jackie bringing him in and like, nope, you got to reel that shit back. Let me save Lamar from himself this time. The Bobby scenes, I love those. It's not done. You keep talking like the Bobby storyline is over. It's not fucking done. Trust me. We are not done with Bobby. It's coming back. It is coming back. Lamar with Tracy, Roscoe with Tracy's always fun. It really is. But I think the best scenes are the one where Roscoe explained to the coterie. One of the best ones, him explaining to the coterie, his loyalties have shifted. You saw that character growth, that the way he's progressed from toe the line loyalist to his own conscience won't let him be part of that shit anymore. He's not willing to give that up. And I mean, everyone's had some great ones with that. The Cedric scene was good. I got to say that was fun. I am mad we didn't get more Winnetka this season, but we have limits as to the time runs. Always love being Winnetka. He's fun. He's a lot of fun. Lamar, the way you handled the protesters was great. I mean, the line that got me from you is when you're saying you have a problem with women being empowered, and showing off their bodies in tasteful way. You have a problem with that? I love that. Because that's the kind of shit you want to tell to the protesters that talk about, that smut. And that's the kind of shit people want to say every day. So overall, there's been a lot of great scenes. I kind of enjoy Victor. I know some people at this table, all people at this table, don't enjoy when I'm doing Victor, but it's fun to do that kind of a insolent. His insolence is totally different from what everyone else's method of insolence is just, pure threats, but he's just insolent. It's not even about the threats. It's insolence. It's like, okay, I give no fuck what the rules are, what the rules should be. Fuck them. I'm doing what I want.
He's a disrespectful little shit.
Yes. And I love playing him. So there's my answer. It's hard to pick one because there's so much good shit that happened this season. This is one of our better seasons, I have to say. There's a lot of good shit that went down, and we've laid the groundwork. This one was a lot of coterie winning, not going to lie. But you know what normally happens on a season that the coterie wins a lot? The next season, normally is not as much winning. So there's my answer.
Okay.
Wait. But all we do is win, 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 win.
But no fun allowed, and winning too much is too fun.
Well played. Well played.
Also, real fast, I just wanted to unveil Bobby Powerbottom has a new nickname. It's Passive Bottom. So keep that in mind.
All right, so KoFi asks for all thoughts or feelings on any retribution from Capone's allies. I'm going to answer that one first. I look forward to it.
He has a backer.
I look forward to it.
Isabella is still probably very pissed off that he tried to control her. And anyone that supported that, she's just gonna say, bring it on. Like, she's like, give a fuck. How dare you?
And it's telling he didn't go for, he went straight to the woman. And he went after the Toreador. You know he knows who each one of you were. He's got inside track because that was shown earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's at the end of last season. It was shown that he's gotten info from inside the court, so he knows who you are. He went for the Toreador to turn her on the Ventru.
Mm-hmm.
That was done deliberately. His choice of targets was not arbitrary. Yeah, he's a misogynistic prick.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad.
Dead.
It's too bad,
Misogynistic
Isabella,
prick.
because had he done enough research, you would have been his predator type. His preferred feeding.
Sicilian women.
Sicilian women.
No, well, fuck him.
Womp womp, sad trombone.
Man, you could have had Capone bloodbound to you. I mean, then you'd also be getting tested every week. Let's see. His allies, fuck them with the pointy end of everything. Like, I don't give a shit. Genevieve is not in the place where she's thinking about his allies right now, but understanding that he is one of those mobster types, she's gonna be like, yeah, cool. He's got a bunch of lackeys somewhere. He's got somebody else, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck them. When they show up, you knock them down. That's what you got to do.
And even mobsters, you knock enough down and they learn to quit coming.
They learn to quit coming.
But Lamar managed already to capture, two of his more important allies, Nick and Rocky.
For Lamar. Oh, good.
That was a mistake for Capone, but Capone would have looked at him as underlings to throw away. He would have tried to use them as cannon fodder. And that was not a good idea for Capone to do, because don't piss off Nos. That's rule number one.
That's rule number one.
I think that's like his problem overall, is like he doesn't pick his targets, or at least in this way he did it, he didn't pick his target strategically with how he was doing things, because like pissed off the Nos, did try to control like Isabella, like it just like of all the people, it's just like change your strategy a little bit, my dude. Be a bit more strategic with it.
He was never good. If he was good at strategy when he was allowed to be alive, he would have never been fighting with Ballard the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would have never been, at odds with the entire Primogen Council like he was. He would have fostered allies. He deliberately lived his life in a way that isolated him and gave him only enemies, no friends, and no allies. I mean, it's kindred. Friends are
Yeah, whoever's
shaky.
backing him was using him.
Yeah, even that wasn't, it's not an ally that was backing him. It's somebody who said, that's a tool, I will use him.
Until he breaks. Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I think it doesn't even really register to Nicholas, because he's got the emissary, he's got the madam. Like, honestly, it's like whatever the fuck Capone's gonna throw at him at this point, like he's got creepier shit he's got to worry about. So I think it's honestly, it's like he'll help where he needs to help or where he can help, but past that, not my monkey, not my circus.
I think you're worried more now about what Alessandro's up to than Capone's potential allies.
Yeah. Yeah, like honestly, like in as much as Alessandro, I think towards the beginning of the season would have been the bigger problem. Like, I wouldn't put him at the top right now. Like, I got other shit that's after my ass. Let me worry about that. Like everyone, I'm sure, has got Capone handled. They had him handled before this, and now he's an afterthought. Yeah.
I'll say for Lamar, he's a fan of chess. Got to kill a queen to put the king in check. So whoever wants to come and start a new fight, they'll just have to learn what happens when you mess with the Wicker Park crew. It's like that scene from Batman Forever. It's like Batman will come for me. I'm counting on it. So
Yeah, it's kind of messed up when fools keep wanting to test a coterie full of fucking survivors.
But isn't that always the way of kindred society? I mean, even Tally, who's known to murder everybody, fools test him all the time. You always, if somebody is considered to be the big bad or the go-to, somebody's always wanting to topple you from that throne.
it's like there's a 98% chance of this failing, but there's a 2% chance of you surviving and being the guy that takes him down.
Yep.
So you're saying there's a chance, and that's the part people always go for.
And in a rigid structure like Chicago, where everyone is entrenched, only the ones really willing to take risks have a chance to move up. Playing it safe will keep you in the status quo. And that shows for this coterie. This coterie has taken risks, but you've moved up. You're not what you were at the beginning of the Chronicle. None of the coterie. You take risks, get the rewards. Sometimes get stupid prizes.
Anyone else? No? Okay. All right. So next question is from Eben Blade. How likely is it that any of the cast are going to commit diablerie? And for those who have already done so, how likely are they going to do so again? So how likely is it that Roscoe will commit diablerie?
Almost zero. That's totally not on his schedule of things to get done. Now he'll probably have a look at Jackie now, just to see what it looks like when you've done the
deed.
Yep.
I mean, Lamar did the deed, but you're not as experienced with La Sombra as you are with Ventrue. You've been around Ventrue most of your kindred existence, not La Sombra.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, Gavin just put in Zoom chat. He's Tremere. He already did.
My man.
How about Isabella?
I don't think Isabella has any reason not to. Like, as you kind of said, like, she's a survivor. If the opportunity presents itself and it gives her a leg up, she'll probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't think that it would be beneficial for her or be more effort than it's worth, no. But like, if it's easy for her, I know it would never be easy. But like, if it's easy, yeah, I don't see why she wouldn't. It's a dog eat dog world.
Yep. And whoever's got the milk bone underpants, they're fucked.
Yeah. How about for Jenny?
That's a question I constantly have asked myself. And realistically speaking, yes, if you win the diablerie from a player standpoint, if you win the diablerie, you get a bunch of stuff like a blood boost or blood potency boost. Awesome. Ginny herself, I don't think so. I think it would have to be the most opportune situation. And even then, I don't know that she would do it. Like, the risk feels too high, I guess, for Genevieve. So, especially considering she's still relatively young, there's things she wants to do, there's things she wants to see. So risking diablerie, and in her head, I'm not thinking of it from the rule standpoint. The character would be thinking, if I diablerize somebody and the sheriff finds out, I'm fucked. So, and she doesn't want to die in Chicago. I've made that abundantly clear. So
all right. So for the guys, Timber Brad so far. Nicholas, what say you? Does he have a certain Giovanni he's wanting to slurp?
So I don't know, like thinking about it, I think he would almost rather just wipe him from existence.
Yeah.
And so always having that like lingering chance that they're stuck in the back of your head. Like, no, like if he's gonna get rid of this guy, he's gonna get rid of him for good. So I think if it, in that case, like specifically if that presented it, he'd just ash him. Like it's just I'm just removing you from the equation, not dealing with it. Past that, yeah, I think it would be situation based on like where he was with that person specifically. If he thought that they could be useful to him, maybe. Otherwise, I mean, maybe just yeah. I think I think Alessandro is the only one I think right now that's even. It's not like a likely maybe. It's just it's a vague maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just wipe him off. Like unless something happens going forward, is just be done with his ass.
Okay, so Gavin, Lamar's done it before. He was the first of our coterie to do the forbidden slurp. Would he do it again?
You say it like that's the first time he did it on camera.
Yeah, I know.
But no, if it's the proper person, if someone pisses Lamar off enough that he's willing to live with another person at the table in his head, hashtag slurp business, it's on. So
That would be 3 humanity after that slurp.
hashtag no filter.
No filter.
So actually, Shanky brings up a really good point. I'm going to need jet fuel for the rocket ship to know humanity. So maybe I would Diablerize. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So I went last because my character was the most recent to commit diablerie. There are some reasons that Jackie did it. She did it because she never wanted there to be even a remote chance that Al Capone would ever come back out of the woodwork again. She also did it and that was partly because he was a stain on the entire clan of Ventrue. But also she did it because she will not let power go to waste. That is a tenet of her cult. She unfortunately let power go to waste when her sire fell. She has some mixed feelings about that. She would have never wanted to do that to him, but at the same time, she honestly should have if she was true to her cult.
And that would have been rough on Astro, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but she had attachment to him and never wanted to do that to him. But Capone, he was nobody. He was just fucking a powerful piece of garbage. So yeah, she slurped him right the fuck down. Would she do it again? Well, she's lost to humanity. She went from 6 to 5 now. Honestly, she probably would, but only if it was going to enhance her power. Because she has a long-term goal. She eventually wants to kill Tally. And she's going to have to be a hell of a lot more powerful than she is to accomplish that. So yeah, she probably would if the situation was right.
I mean, and you got 5 humanity left. That means you can Diablerize 4 times and you're still not at 1. You're good.
I'm good.
Keep going.
And let's be real, she's descended from Queen Anne of London, a serial Diablerist. I mean, it's in the blood. All right, so let's see. So that was Ebb and Blade. I'm actually going to skip to Discord because Maddox, who is unable to join us today live, he did post some questions. So I'm going to go with one of his first question. It is to Shanky. Is there an aspect of the city that you haven't touched on that you want to show more in the next season?
That's actually pretty easy. We've talked a whole lot about the Undercity
And haven't gone there.
and haven't really touched in it other than the one shot. So if you're there's certain cult things that are going on that the only way to solve them is going to be go down there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the answer is for Maddox, who's Alessandro when he's in his guest role. Yeah, I want to bring more of the Undercity in. It's time. 6 seasons of talking about it, and not once have the coterie wandered down there other than to pump out the water at one point.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
So, but now Jackie has a reason to see her,
Mm-hmm.
and Lamar has a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie's going to have more reasons, which is going to be tied in with Gray's guest role.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some Undercity shit going down. We got to do some Undercity. There's my answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ebb and Blade had a second question right after his first. He says, can we expect more blood cult stuff next season?
I wanted more this season, but
We had too much shit to do.
the time format of 2.5 to 2 to 3 hour episodes, we prioritize what comes up sometimes. The players have their own things they need to do, and well, we didn't get as much as we wanted. We laid more groundwork for cults. I'm going to get some more blood cult shit going eventually. It's not going to be a one season. It's going to take season after season. So yeah.
Okay, so the next one is from Devilish Darkness. It's a question for everyone. Who's next on the kill list?
That's tied to some merch that's talked about being made.
I mean, legit, there's just so many options, y'all.
This is a
Isabella's-
target-rich environment.
Isabella's priorities, if she could pick anyone, would be Keisha Decker.
Or Keisha Phelps.
Keisha and Decker.
Keisha and
Keisha
Decker?
and Decker.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the ones that she's had the most like personal beef with.
Mm-hmm.
So if she had to pick, that's who she would pick. But like also recognizes that like coterie
Mm-hmm.
may not be who's first, but if she could pick, that's who she'd pick.
It's dangerous to try to bump off a prince. I'm not saying it can't be done because, as Tally would say, anybody's killable if you're patient enough. But the Camarilla takes a very dim view on just offing princes unless you're replacing them and you have the support to replace them. Otherwise, it's regicide, and they don't like that.
I didn't say she would start by killing him.
Oh, no, she's going to make him suffer first.
I think for Nicholas, it would be, I forget her name, whoever it was, the one in the picture who might have been the cause of Izzy's.
Amelia.
Amelia.
Yeah. Not Amelia Locke, who's the venturer. We're talking
Amelia
about
DiCarlo. is her name.
Amelia DiCarlo.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if he finds out that she had something to do with it, like he'll stand on that bridge while he burns it. Like he's I think that might send him into like probably a frenzy almost. Like it just I think that would be, I think, his big focus, especially at the end. And then of course Alessandro.
Anyone else got a hit list?
So for Lamar, it's the guy that he's been looking for, that he and that Khadija put him onto, the cultist.
One of the shepherds.
Yeah, one of the shepherds. So yeah, then that may be the next Diablerie target if Lamar catches up to him. There is Victor may just have to die on principle because he's a problem for Roscoe, and we will take no issues. Anyone threatening Roscoe. We will have no one harming Isabella. We will have no one messing with Ginny. We will also have, whoever Jackie needs put into a matchbox and thrown in the river. And then after we take care of them, then there's and
Yeah, this
Stay
group
tuned.
has a whole bunch of people they want. You all just want to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make so many people piss us off, Shanky?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's your fault.
I mean, Kindred Society's, it's a shark pool. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Not a shark tank because that leaves too much room for them to swim.
We've
It's a
got
pool.
the harpoons.
it didn't have such nice fins, we wouldn't have to.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. No, yeah, there's so many. There's legit just so many that could, if they aren't on the list already, they probably will be soon. Because yeah, you've got, I mean, we're talking all the way back from like season 1, season 2. We got a Luke. We've got Alexa. We've got, oh my God. Yeah.
She bitch.
She bitch. Yeah. No, legit. Then we've got
Come on, put Narissa on the list.
Decker. We've got Keisha. We've got, well, let's be real, Marcel needs to go too. But
We really just need to sweep the table.
Berlin's still a little upset about the one shot with Marcel being involved. So now she got to kill Marcel.
yeah, Marcel got to go too. But now Jackie knows what Marcel is up to. So yeah.
Wicked long term, you've got Tally there somewhere.
Tally's in there.
Devilish Darkness says he wants Brett on the list.
Oh no, Brett's too amusing. We're going to keep him around.
Yeah, he's not really a threat.
He's not a threat. Nero.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nero. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, probably Dawn Akata. Fuck that bitch.
That's pretty funny, actually, that Jackie wants to kill her own Archon that she has to report to.
Oh no, because if she becomes Justicar, she's going to be just like Strek. Just like former Malkavian Justicar Strek, because that's who picked her as Archon.
Get her up out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that would be lovely. Literally, there's just so many. Just so many. I mean, we got, the Giovanni that's fucking around with Zal's head. He needs to go. We got... That's why there's going to be... Uh-oh, did we lose a Lamar? We did for a
I'm
second.
here.
He's back.
Yay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. But yeah, and legit, there's going to be merch. I am working on it between seasons. That is going to be the Coterie hit list. And there has been a number of them that are going to be crossed out because we have been efficient with our kill board. But we still have quite a few people on the list. All right. So, let's see.
I don't think we heard whether Jenny had anyone she wants to kill.
Yeah, Jenny.
Oh, I was gonna let Roscoe go, but I don't know if he's got anybody on his list.
Oh, well, Victor definitely, and Abraham. Mitigated only to the extent that he knows that they're not the ones, that they're just pawns of the pyramid at this point.
Yep. It's Shrek and Carfax.
I mean, we can add them to the list too. I mean, we already got Tally on.
Good luck
Might
with
as well.
You know how many people have Shrek on that list? Colonel Shrek is on everybody's list.
Let's just err on the side of caution and then just put Tremere with an asterisk, but the asterisk can be sort of like blurred out a little bit because maybe
with
one or two.
exclusions.
So you're saying find out where the
may have
Presidium is and nuke that one too.
The perineum, yeah.
Yeah, the perineum. Oh, damn. You're a lord of nothing.
Lord of the Glow. It is now Fallout Vampire the Masquerade Edition.
Ginny doesn't really necessarily have a kill list. So it may seem coming across as surprising. She's more, I don't know. I mean, hell, if she really wanted to like help Bobby, for example, Duncan McTavish would have to be at the top of the list, or the Archon. But she's thinking, well, if I take out an Anarch, that's probably more visibly nice, but then it's also taking out a clan member. Kind of, I don't know. She's not really necessarily wandering around being like, oh boy, who do I get to kill next? So she doesn't really have a list. It's more of just like who pops up that is a problem, and then she tries to be the clawed hammer to it back down. So
No, I will say it's funny because yes, Jackie does have a list. She's like Arya Stark reciting the list of people of kindred that need to be fucking ashed. But before she goes, before she goes to her day sleep every day. But legit, she's not one of those that's actively like, okay, who do I kill next? She doesn't go after it like that. She is patient. She will wait until opportunity presents itself. So she just reminds herself of everyone she wants to destroy and just waits.
Revenge is best served cold.
Absolutely, and when it's least expected. All right, so Astral asks, Lamar, are you looking forward to your shared custody of your adopted childer?
Gavin is very much looking forward to Lamar's shared custody agreement and how it goes out. Lamar is like, I did this so we don't have another La Sombra fuck up in this city, but it's getting real hard to be carrying all this weight. So yeah, he wants to make sure the new kid gets taught correctly and that she's, taken care of. But it's like, please just let her learn, without too many difficulties.
I promise she won't be like Jerry Lightwood. Lightfoot, whatever. Yeah. She won't be like the light of truth. Okay. I won't be doing that to you. I promise.
She's just young and doesn't know anything.
Yeah. Lamar's okay with, but he's doing this. He's doing this to set an example. So.
All right. Eben Blade asks, what is everyone looking forward to most next season? I'm going to go last on this one.
I think that Isabella is probably looking forward to unraveling the Braden situation a bit more. Especially now that she and Nicholas are on like better terms. Now there's a mystery of like how her sire was wrapped up in it. Yeah, I think that's probably what her next step is. Next season I do want to do something to mess with Decker. We'll see, but that's more of a personal project rather than like a whole thing.
That's not even an Isabella project. That's a Red project. Mischievous Red just wants to go fuck with Decker some.
No, that's Isabella.
Definitely include Jackie in that. We can pool
Yeah,
some
no,
resources and get a
Isabella.
project going.
Yeah, no, Isabella would. It's definitely an Isabella thing because he followed her. He used two other women against her. Like, no, that's definitely an Isabella thing. Isabella's a revenge artist.
I don't know. I see kind of a streak of that in you. You play that a bit well there, Red. I'm just saying.
I can say I have it in a part of it in me. I don't go as ham as Isabella does, though.
Who's next?
I'm looking forward to the guest appearance by Unconscious Celestial, and there's going to be some real fireworks when that happens.
Yeah, you got to tell her that you're not going to follow the pyramid anymore.
Yeah. Well, that I'm not looking forward to so much, but yeah, it's going to happen.
And I know this question isn't asked here, but it relates to that. It's one that come up during Zoom at one point. I think it was. Somebody had asked, "Is your sire going to go visit Portia in the Succubus Club, Helena and Helena meeting?" And the way I said it is, the guest players have a lot of control over their players. They are guest characters. There are SPCs technically as a guest player, but they have a lot of say in what they do. And whether you see Roscoe Sire go meet with Portia is up to Roscoe Sire, not me. If she decides to go and put the hammer down on the Tremere or the Toreador neonate in the Tremere Chantry, we're going to see how that shit plays out. Just saying.
Good thing she can throw fire. I mean, not Portia.
Well,
The Pontifex.
that was only in the intermission. That was a memoriam.
I mean, who says Portia can't throw fire now? For Lamar, training, dealing with the shepherd. Lamar has half a kilo of C4 left, people. Keep that in mind.
Jackie may know a church that needs to blow
I thought it was 3/4 of a kilo. Just saying.
3/4 of a kilo.
I'm just saying,
I'm not
Jackie
gonna
may know of
short
a
you your
church
kilo,
that needs
man.
to blow up.
Yeah, I'm not going to short
Let's
you
be
a
honest, we
quarter
could also
kilo.
probably find more if we needed to.
Yes, we could.
He's got a lot of guys who want to make a name for themselves.
Go find out if they have dandruff when you see their head and shoulders all over the room.
Okay, I love that.
I think for me, I'm just going to say I'm looking forward to all the red buttons I can find.
You
That's
pushed a
it.
good one in the season finale.
I love you too, Raylan.
Face palm happens in real life, and it's so wonderful.
I've had you sit at my table. I know you are the red button pusher. I know you are.
It's just Roscoe or Urian needed a companion with the red button. Pushing.
Yeah.
Can't just be one. We need, he needed help. It was wearing him
So
out.
now
He's
it's
getting
not
tired.
always, but why, Roscoe? Now, but why, Nicholas?
Like I think a lot of it is the intent is not to press more buttons. It will likely happen. It's more so I want to see I'm excited to see what all the button pressing this season is going to lead to.
All the rabbit holes it opens up.
Oh yeah, just because it's being more familiar with some possible aspects of the emissary versus having almost no idea what the hell's going on with the madam. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see like where that goes.
I grin every time you bring up the madam, and I can't help it.
Genevieve had planned on visiting a specific establishment all of season 6. Never happened. So I look forward to doing that in season 7.
For Jackie, I always try to go into a season with like 2 or 3 like priority things I want for my character to do. Most of the time they happen, they don't always. It depends on where the story twists and turns. Definitely I'm looking forward to looking more into these masked Nosferatu, because that will open up story with the new Nosferatu in town. And I'm really looking forward to playing that out. And then also, I'm really looking forward to a conversation Jackie needs to have with Isabella pertaining to Keisha and Decker. Because there is a conversation that Jackie needs to have with Isabella about that. I'm also really looking forward to a conversation Jackie's going to have with her prince. Because certain things are going to happen to make him aware of the Capone situation, and then Jackie's going to request a private audience.
me thinks Jackie seems to think she's more buddy-buddy with the prince than she is.
She's not. But yeah, that's going to be fun if it can happen. So we will see.
I'm not going to answer that one because, I don't set the story for season 7. Players do. I have no clue what's going to happen season 7.
Okay, Devilish Darkness asks, Lamar, how are you holding up without Destiny? Come on, you can tell us.
Lamar's not going to talk about how that whole thing makes him feel, because it makes him feel. And if he has to talk about his feelings, someone's probably going to get shot after. So,
or some C4.
or they're going to get a bomb strapped to him.
Less cat piss in random places is what Jenny.
He didn't say he misses Hyde.
No, he does not miss.
Sure, but not Hyde.
Yeah, Hyde can go and stay. Genghis and Hyde deserve each other, but Lamar does miss Destiny. I would say, yeah. He's never going to talk about it. He's never going to admit it. But he's going to have to just content himself with all the other beautiful women surrounding him. It's a hard job, but he will soldier on somehow.
Astral asks, now that the Coterie has taken out a true power player in the city, what are the Coterie expecting by way of repercussions or benefits going into next season? I think we we addressed that with his potential allies. I personally think for Jackie, I mean, she really got her benefit out of it. That's blood potency 3 and a gen boost. So hey, but no, really, realistically, it's going to be tricky navigating the politics of it after the fact. It's going to be a little tricky, and that is going to be exciting because I like kind of going into things where I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out and just seeing how it works. So.
With the Capone being the major player that he is, there's going to be a huge power vacuum now in the South Side. That Lamar's going to be part of that. He's going to find his place. But that could be a whole lot of things going on that.
Well, it's not just that. There's 3 Coterie members with interests in South Side, so that's basically going to almost be like a secondary domain.
Mm-hmm.
Going off of what's just been said, Lamar is very much looking forward to bringing the South Side under control once again, and he's got a very simple message for a lot of the gangbangers out there that's going to be delivered next season, and the kindred elements there that are not part of his coterie. I think that's going to be very interesting to navigate around, knowing that, one of the Primogen is operating out of there and what he's trying to do. I definitely expect some butting heads there, but Lamar has not shied away from challenges thus far. So I don't see him, laying down for that either.
Positives, I mean, shit, I don't know. Genevieve just hopes that the Atta girl from the Ventrue Primogen is worth it.
Ventrue always pay their debts.
Yeah, but we didn't really specify. She was just like, oh, you won, like, okay, cool, worth it, because I just wanted to get what I wanted so I could get out of here. So
Isabella doesn't really have any benefits that she's looking for with it. Like she was definitely more of like doing this to help support everyone else. She doesn't have an interest in the South Side really. She didn't have a personal like vendetta against Capone. She's more just kind of helping out.
Oh no, that bastard made it personal in the fight.
Yes. That was, all she cared about was that he got. Like beyond that, like she had no other reason for doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the same for Nicholas. It's just he was there to support everyone as part of the coterie business. I don't think Capone really factors into much else for him.
Okay, so I'm going to switch over to a Maddox question to make sure his gets peppered in for amongst other questions. The next one he posted was for my character Jackie. Who's next on her list? Another snake or another Ventru? Oh, she's diversifying her portfolio at this point. I'm thinking maybe a Malkavian, maybe maybe a Gangrel, maybe, there's just so many. There's just so many. All right. So next up, Devilish Darkness asks McStabber Studios, is my boy Twitch coming back next season?
Twitch has been busy. He's an Alistair now. Will he come back next season? Well, he'll certainly be here in 2 weeks when we do the season 6 summary, because your boy Twitch always gives our season 6 summary. But after that, expect to see some more your boy coming and popping in once in a while. He may be an Alistair and he may be busy, but that don't mean he doesn't want to, snitch on this coterie a bit from time to time.
He's got like the best job ever. Hunt down anathema and free diableries.
Like Scourge, but with a 401k plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Evan Blade asks, the madam that Nicholas now owes a favor to, what does she collect and what can you tell us about her?
I love the madam. I based her off of Matthias Games and the Silence of Shadows at Roll For It. They had a character that I saw that I really enjoyed. And like I tell people to do, never be afraid to watch other streams and get ideas from it, but take those ideas and make them your own and make your version of the ideas. And I saw that character. I liked it. So I made my version of it, which became the madam. And she is, well, there's always debate as whether she's Malkavian or Hakata. Nobody knows for sure. She definitely is going to be interesting the first time you see her. She's a merged personality, you might say. Her and her butler share almost a single mind. And she talks and switches between the two when she speaks, because she's not quite connected enough on her own. So she's a very powerful, but very odd. Her power extends to information, but she never leaves her tower. So she doesn't directly get involved in the rest of the city. She sits in her little tower, and anyone willing to pay her price can get information about stuff that you wouldn't find anywhere else, spirits, because she keeps an army of ghosts. The ones in the elevator were just the tip of the iceberg. I think when she appeared in DC by Night, the first time somebody used Cincy Unseen, they saw that there was the ghosts were lined up like terracotta warriors in the entryway to her place. Row upon row, just standing stock still. What does she collect? Spirits, spirit-related items, books, antiquities, collector's items, unique or rare, one-of-a-kind things. Her library is amazing. Her library will have a copy of just about anything you can imagine. A lot of it first printings, including Book of Nod, Book of the Grave War. Good luck taking it from her. She never gives things away. There's always a price. And to piggyback off that, Nicholas sent Izzy to scout Capone in her tower. Then he didn't see her respond to him the rest of the episode. She did not talk. The madam was speaking with his sister. The madam knows his sister has a fetter around his neck. What price will she ask for information? I don't think Nicholas will give that one up. But those are the kind of things she collects. In DC, Berlin's character Lily gave up a fetter to her. Fetter of her dead fiance. Solely because she knew that if anyone could protect the fetter, it would be her. because you don't take what's the madam's. But there's going to be things Nicholas wants to know that she can tell him. She deals with the ghosts and the spirits. If he wants info on Giovanni, the best place to go will be her. So there's what you get about the madam.
And this ties into the next question by Astral. Timber Brad, how nervous is Nicholas now owing a boon to a powerful kindred, the madam?
Well, fucking worse now.
All right, and then I'm going to go down to Ravnos Archon, to the cast. Do you guys have any say in what happens during the intermission scenes between seasons? I will say we really don't unless they involve our characters.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
The intermissions are mainly me.
Yeah.
I come up with an idea and then I jump with the cast. And, like one season we did memoriams.
Mhm.
And that was me going, hey, what about we do some memoriams to explore your backstory? And I took it to the cast and the cast were like, oh shit, yeah, that's great. Let's do that shit. So we did. Some intermissions are me just like this season's intermission. That was me. Something I came up with doing. So it varies.
And you'll want to tune in for that next Sunday because it's going to be Ravnos Archon and Juni Von Esch with McStabber Studios here playing out what happened that night to Decker when Tracy went and put his ass in his place.
You'll get to see another memoriam, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is we're going to do next Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Decker's Memoriam or Decker's Nightmare, because he is going to remember the night that Tracy and a mage came to visit him.
So yes, Ebon Blade, the scene has been decided for this season.
We record it tomorrow night,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will have it ready for Sunday for streaming.
So that was the answer to your question.
Yep.
Now I'm going to go back to a Maddox question. Lamar, what was your internal reaction to Capone getting the way of the Slurpee?
If Jackie hadn't done it, Lamar would have. Because Capone was someone else who could have gotten it. And Lamar is, he's just glad that someone else finally understands what it's like. And there's going to be a conversation about that next season. I've already decided Lamar and Jackie have to talk about it next season.
I'm looking forward to it.
But also, Lamar is of the mindset that, yes, diablerie is supposed to be a horrible thing, cannibalism, yeah. But have you tried it, though? And it's something he would ask each member of the coterie if possible, but he hasn't quite felt them out all the way in that regard. Like, I mean, no one blinked both times, but, not willing to say anything versus willing to actually do the thing are very different.
Yeah, now he knows someone else in the coterie is willing to do the thing.
Yes. And Lamar has also pretty much, I think he's figured out who would be willing if it came down to it. This was independent of everybody's responses earlier, but I think he's figured out who might be willing to do it. And so, yeah, there's going to be some questions and stuff coming up in the near future.
The Wicker
I want to
Park
ask a follow-up
Diablerie
to
crew.
that. Who does Lamar think would be willing to do it?
Okay, so it's real bad to say this, but Lamar feels like Roscoe would do it. Definitely. It's like, dude, from here.
If it gave him access to magic in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So you want to diablerize Tracy to learn what she learned?
No, not worth it.
Sus ass fucking Tremere.
He's not sure about Ginny just because, Ginny kicks a lot of ass on her own. So maybe she probably wouldn't feel the need to, but at the same time, there's probably going to be a couple people in this town who piss her off enough to where it's like, you can solve this problem. You can solve this problem real finely if you really, really wanted to. Just not pressing, just saying. Isabella, shit. Yes, the Toreador would do it. The Toreador would do it. Like
Toreador would always do it.
The Toreador will burn your world to the ground.
Toreador will do it with style.
And they'll take
Exactly.
you in their head and they'll just talk smack to you in their own head.
I will say, when that question was asked earlier, I was like, strategy for Decker, potentially.
The Toreador will not only diablerize you, they'll diablerize you with the best of fashion.
Oh, absolutely.
Won't
Be
spill a
looking,
drop.
doing great. Not miss a drop. Stand up without any on their face. Just be like, we're cool.
With Nicholas, Lamar's like, would he give enough of a shit to try? Like, because Nicholas is great, but Nicholas is just like, I think I've heard him be happy once. His voice was half an octave higher than when he normally speaks, so I think he was happy. But will he give enough of a shit to even do it?
That's legit. That's legit.
I don't know if I have a kindred threatening his sister's fetter well enough. I think he would not only kill him, he would diablerize the fuck out of him to make sure his sister's fetter's safe.
Mm-hmm.
There is a button that you can push on Nicholas that
would flip him.
He would burn the city to the ground rather than let anything happen to it.
Oh, all kindred have that button.
No, some would, like Jenny, rather than burn the city to the ground, be like, fuck it, I'm just getting on my plane and leaving. Fuck all y'all.
Well, that's because Jenny hasn't invested enough yet. When she invests enough and is tied to that city, she will also have a button that you could press that will make her burn it to the ground.
I know the button. I know Jenny's button. Someone blows up that plane.
You're muted.
Somebody kills Evan, and then she has to explain to Fiorenza that Evan got killed. We don't hear you.
All right, it's the button on the time my microphone was hit. No, look. If the bridge with Fiorenza is going to get burned, fuck me sideways. But you know what? That's what all those other modes of transportation are for, and hiding your identity again. Or if that's going to happen, I'll just buy up to the lore sheets for the protectorate, and I'll have them help me, and I'll just owe somebody else my ass.
And sell everything out on Fiorenza.
I mean, that is the kindred way.
That is the kindred way. All right, Devilish Darkness asks, so Roscoe, your girlfriend pushed a red button.
She's your girlfriend already, damn.
At the end, how are you going to deal with that?
You know, I've actually been thinking about that a lot. And you're just going to have to wait for season 7 to see that.
Okay, I'm scrolling down. Okay, so now we're going to do Maddox questions. Well, folks, if you have questions, post them in chat. Make sure you use your boons, the little, what looks like a bubble down at the bottom of chat. Click that to highlight your message and make sure you show who it's directed to in your question. All right, so the next question is for Roscoe. What's the next step for your shop? Maybe a second location or expansion?
Well, maybe an investment in fireproofing may not be necessary depending on how it goes with Samantha. So, yeah, an expansion may work out. Find some new titles to populate the shelves with. Maybe take over the building next door, or who knows, satellite location in a safer part of town.
Put a coffee shop and attach it to your occult bookshop, so it's occult books and coffee.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is for Jenny. Do you want to poach more prospects from Cretius, or will you look elsewhere for capable people?
Okay, so I know Maddox does a lot of puff, not passing. So this may have the intricacies of this may have been lost, which is perfectly fine. This is the greatest opportunity to explain it. So Cretius was attempting to poach Tasha from Genevieve. Genevieve had been kind of testing Tasha to see if she was worthy of like working for her. And I'm not talking about like working for her via the blood. I'm talking about just straight up working for her, because Tasha was kind of a quick and easy way to get the alderwoman to do things for Genevieve by agreeing to do things for Tasha. But if Tasha was capable, she would be more than happy to set her up with a cushy future and help her out and stuff. She was never necessarily planning on ghouling Tasha. That was not in her cards, as it were. Now, Cretius deciding Tasha being in the wrong place at the wrong time helped show Genevieve she had to protect Tasha in a different way, especially once Critus shows up and was just like, yeah, I'd like to teach her all those good lessons that I can teach because I'm such an amazing teacher with a horrible turnover rate. And so, yes, no, Genevieve is not going to purposely try and take somebody from somebody else. That's not necessarily her style. But with the Tasha situation, it was a necessity to protect her own ass, but also protecting somebody that she could tell was a actual useful asset. Tasha proved herself with the Critus stuff, and so in doing so, yeah. So, but unfortunately, also she made it set it up so that proving herself also showed that she could not not be Gould. So yeah.
Okay, the next Maddox question is for Isabella. Are you still confused about Braden, or is it fairly understandable? And in parentheses, ignoring the conspiracy stuff, I mean.
I feel like all of Braden's stuff's a conspiracy stuff, to be honest with you. Like here, the guy remembers nothing. He's got more holes in his brain than Swiss cheese, I believe has been the comparison, like, every time it's brought up. He's got no clue what's going on. So she's probably not as confused as Braden is, and she, like, knows now that it was, like, Izzy, and, like, knows a bit more about that. As far as, like, she wants to know what Tally's game is with Braden in particular, and, like, how, like, Nicholas and Isabella Sire are wrapped up in all of that. So, like, there's still questions to be left there. She's not, like, as suspicious of him because can't put enough together to really come up with a plan of attack. But yeah, there's still questions there.
I will say what I love about that storyline is it showcases the long-term effects of rewriting memories in a kindred.
Yeah, that is a trope, very common in vampire since it came in, is the concept of kindred fucking around in either kind or other kindred's memories constantly. But what is the effect on it? Even the best people leave hazy spots and problems, and you do it long enough and you end up with somebody who psychologically will crack. There's just no way around it. If you as a person cannot tell what of your memories are real and fake and what happened really, the long-term effects are Braden. Even Zhao is not really showing the same effects, but that's because her memories were not mucked in like is happening to Braden, because that came out. A Mimni did the memories, and it's different if a Mimni wraith comes in and locks parts of your memories away rather than what Tally would be doing, which is rewriting entire swaths of his brain. Totally different effects. Zhao wouldn't have memory like Swiss cheese and be suicidal in a lot of ways. Braden, he's broken. Tally broke him. Just another person in Lamar's book, I'm sure, example of Tally giving no cares about what he breaks in the process of doing things.
And the last question for Maddox before I return back to Twitch chat questions is for Nicholas. Do you plan to offer your body disposal services to other kindred in the city for boons, or will you strike out for new proposals or prospects? Sorry, prospects.
It's actually something I've never thought of. I mean, I definitely think that if one of their sort of like coterie associates like needed it and he was able to make it into something profitable for them, absolutely he would do it. But definitely with getting the audience with Bronwyn and getting the okay to move into the medical district, I think that might be definitely a good start towards opening up some new avenues of body disposal for kindred, or for just other opportunities to make some deals that hopefully are less shady, but likely not.
All right, so we've got a question from Silly Lily Billy. McStabber Studios, do you give stains for ghouling?
For ghouling itself, no. But I do give stains for blood bonding a kind. There's no stains for blood bonding a kindred because whatever. But I actually use the V5 rules on that one. The ghouling itself does not give you a stain because technically, by ghouling somebody, you make them healthier, you make them stronger, faster, you improve their life as a human. They don't even age anymore. It's the blood bonding itself that taints the soul. Now, if you find me somebody who's ghouling without blood bonding, I'm going to find you a fool of a kindred, because if you don't blood bond them, they're danger to you. But I do not stain for the ghouling, just the bonding of a kind. When Jenny took her stain for blood bonding Tasha, most of the other ghouls were done before, during character creation. But Peter, for Jackie, she took a stain when she bonded Peter.
And I was able to negate that stain because of one of Jackie's convictions.
Right. And you can do that. You can offset a stain from ghouling with conviction. So, but, or from blood bonding. Ghouling itself actually improves things. It's just like if you ghoul a touchstone, are you harming the touchstone? Well, no, you've made them healthier, you made them stronger. If you blood bond them, that's a lot of stains.
Yeah.
But once you ghoul your touchstone, here's the problem. If you stop giving them blood,
that's a stain.
That's going to be stains. You've harmed your touchstone. You took them from now becoming immortal, stronger, healthier, heal quicker, to they're going to age again. So if you ghoul a touchstone and you stop ghouling them, I'll give you a stain for that, because you're hurting them.
Actually, that was something back when we had our first thing at the cabin in the woods that I had discussed with the ST after that session, because Jackie had brought Etienne, and Etienne's bond was breaking in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And that technically put her touchstone in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, even though she wasn't aware that that would happen, that still put her touchstone in danger. And I was like, would Jackie take a stain from that?
And the way I handle that normally is if a player asks that, well, do you fear you take a stain?
And I thought about it, but I was like, no, as soon as she realized something was up and she got back to him, she got him the fuck away from it and kept him away from it. So she worked to protect him.
I've got a good set of players at the table. They generally are willing to point out when they feel they've done something.
Yeah, I was kind of debating that, because I'm like, technically that put him in danger. She didn't do it intentionally, but yeah, it was something I had to think on.
You would have gotten one stain technically, but you had an offset for it at the time.
I did.
Because unintentional harming of a touchstone is one stain.
Not
two.
But I would have also had an offset, so we didn't end up playing it out. But I did also show that there was remorse in Jackie for putting him in danger, to role play that out, to show that she really was impacted by this potential harm that he was putting.
Should Isabella have gotten a stain then for when Emilio was being suffocated?
Would you?
Would you?
That is a question. You know your character. Do you feel that he was he truly in danger? There's your question. Sure, he got hurt. That would be a one stain, but you've got the things to offset that one. The real question is, do you feel he was actually in danger of death? In which case you would have got an additional stain. Because you had so much firepower on him.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever actually in danger.
Yeah, unfortunately, Etienne was. He's so fucking old.
Yeah, if his ghoul, if it had suppressed totally the ghoul, the blood in his the kindred blood that flows through his veins as a ghoul, if he rapidly aged, he would turn into fragments of bone.
Yeah. So it's basically, that's why I had to really consider that. But I also decided to role play out that she was very remorseful that he was in danger.
Yeah, because Etienne is older than anyone in the coterie.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting there, though. But that's a good question, Silly Lily Billy. A lot of people do come to us with that question if Shanky does that, if he actually does incur stains for people basically Googling.
And every storyteller does it different. I've seen storytellers that are real loose with the stains, and you almost never hear the subject of stains come up. And then some take it the other direction and go way too draconian,
Too hardcore.
too black and white with stains. They come up in ours from time to time, but I try to be reasonable about it, because really what the stain is it's your own character unable to cope with what you've done, the remorse of it. That's why they call a stain check, a humanity check, a remorse roll. So you know your character, whether there's an issue with it, more than I do sometimes. Now I'll stain them for breaking chronicle tenets because that's hard rules. You know? So, yep. And Craig Chajan said that's why he runs Sabbat games. Stains are very straightforward. Did you violate the path of enlightenment tenets or not?
Yeah.
And
That's valid.
That's valid.
But we do play cam games here, and with the cam, we're doing the V5 system, but we do tweak the rules here and there when it's appropriate for the story we're telling, because that's something that is the most important to us is what is the story we're telling? And, you know, certain things we are very adherent to the rules in the system. Other things we wiggle a little bit to make it work the story we're telling. So Spec has a question. How do you protect your territory when you are off doing other things? Okay, I'm going to answer that because I'm going to tell you for real what Jackie has set up in this domain. Jackie owns like 3 or 4 businesses in this domain. So she's got eyes and ears throughout the domain. One of which is a coterie held business, which is the club. So that is actually co-owned with the entire coterie. After Plunder's character's demise, Jonathan, Jackie actually had it set up for the coterie to have controlling interest, not just Jackie. And that they can also, you know, get perks from having this business. There are resources tied to this business that can be called upon if this business has issues with it that can be paid for through the business resources instead of personal resources having to be developed to it. There's been lots of dots thrown at that business for the coterie to be able to utilize when needed. But also, Jackie has significant connections with the Wicker Park Police Precinct. She basically has police monitoring not just the domain, but the entire Wicker Park neighborhood, because her personal business, the Cabaret, is also in Wicker Park, just not in the coterie domain. She basically has eyes and ears all over the place. She has enforcement when she needs it. And of course, we also get some perks based on the type of domain it is to finding out what's going on there, all that kind of stuff. So that's how we manage it. And of course, when, you know, like there is a poacher like Cecilia was, we take care of it ourselves. We have our security there at the club, you know, that can notify us of problems when we're there. And when we're not there, we have people that can call us and say, hey, this shit's going on. You need to get here.
And there's another thing that comes up from time to time. It doesn't get talked about enough. This is a show. Windy City, yes, we're playing Vampire. It's unscripted. We're playing the game, but it's also a show. So we don't do a show about day-to-day life as a vampire. The coterie spends time in their domain off camera doing day-to-day stuff. We don't show every minute of it because nobody wants to watch Lamar just walking down the street, Jackie walking over to Joe's bar, checking in, doing. So they do day to day. If it's something important happens, that's done on camera, that's done on scene, that's done for you, the viewers, to see. But day to day, you know, you don't see the day to day running the cabaret. You don't see Lamar day to day running a gang, Jenny day to day running her restaurant, Isabella day to day running her bar. You don't see Roscoe running his bookstore. These are the kind of things that happen every day or every night for a kindred. You don't see the day to day because that's not important, and that's not what the viewers, that's not the interesting parts of the game.
Yeah, and I will say probably on a like night-to-night basis in the domain, there is at least one coterie member in the domain every night. because it needs to be maintained. That is part of our status and reputation in the city, is that we took this domain that's right next to a rack, and racks always have problems, and we got it under control. We cleaned that shit up, and we are managing it. So yeah, it's definitely something that we don't show out because we play a limited format. We do 2.5 hour to 3 hour streams. There is no time to doing, oh, we washed the dishes today. Oh, we cooked dinner. There's no time for
Oh,
that.
Jenny just fired the sous chef to get a new sous chef in the restaurant.
There's no time for that menial bullshit.
Yeah.
So we play impactful scenes that show what the coterie is doing, either independently as individuals or together in teams or as a collaborative group, because that's impactful role play to show how these characters are changing the environment around them.
Yep.
So that's how we generally structure our streams of these games. Now, if we were playing a home game where we could meet, every single week and play for hours, we might do more menial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not playing a home game.
And one of the things we do before each session when we record them is we figure out what scenes we're going to have. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean the players know exactly what's going to happen in a scene. We just get a general idea of what the players are doing that night. And then we actually take those scenes and we weigh them about which is the best for the view, what we feel the viewers makes the most impact for the viewers to see. And I can tell you, never is there a night where just walking the street doing nothing is going to make that list, because there's more impactful things that I think the viewers want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
going to get bored if all we're doing is policing our domain.
Yeah. But they do it.
But we do
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, to that effect, like we do it. So, like in dealing with the baby La Sombra, like it's those things.
Yeah, that shows that we do it. It's just not something that we show in every session.
Right. And I can give you a perfect example. Here's another example. Isabella offered to get the critics to pan a Luke's gallery for Jackie.
Yeah.
We did not show on screen. She said she was going to do it. We didn't show you her doing it. The next episode,
she did a roll.
She came in and said, she told Jackie, yeah, I've got him panning the hell out of it. Did you need to see that scene? Not really. It wouldn't have been much of a scene. It would have just been Isabella being a toreador and getting them to pan it. But there was more impactful things to show rather than that. And those kind of things happen quite a bit. Little things at the day-to-days.
Yep.
And yes, if it's a table game, you play that out. But when you switch from a table game to a stream, you have to refine your focus. You have to...
Because otherwise we'd have like 80 sessions a season.
Right. You have to look at the time you have, the target times you want to hit for, start and stop, and think of what the viewers, because ultimately that's what the stream is about, is the viewers' enjoyment and us having fun doing it.
Mm-hmm. So
you think about what the viewers, what is good for them to see.
Ultimately, it boils down to impactful role play.
And engaging content.
That's what it boils down to, and that's what we strive to provide.
Not every channel does it. Every channel's free to pick their own way to choose what they stream.
Yep.
This is the way I run my games.
Yep. Okay, so I do see a question. Please remember, if you're going to post questions, make sure you use the channel points in the bottom of the chat. If you are not accruing channel points, you need to be a follower. So give us a follow here on Twitch to start accruing channel points.
It's not like there's anything else to do with them.
Right. And use the points. I think it's like 100 points to highlight your message. Silly Lily Billy asked, Nicholas, is his partner upset about the most recent humanity drop?
I would imagine there's definitely concern, but they've been together long enough where this wouldn't have been the first drop that Matthew would have seen. I imagine like the immediate time frame around the drop, absolutely, it would be a concern for him. But I think over a period of time, especially as Nicholas continues to keep that bond and everything going, I think Matthew would almost get like a touch of that, And sort of because of that, like Matthew is still always the I guess anchor to humanity for Nicholas, and so I think a lot of it is yeah, like I would say in the immediacy of the humanity drops, there's just like the natural concern, when somebody has something bad happen to them in a relationship, there's that concern. But I also think that this is sort of part of their ongoing relationship, is that Matthew knows that what happens.
And Matthew would see the drop in humanity because it changes you. You are not the same after you lose a whole humanity point. And while I do, Relin's heard me talk about it, I know Urian has too as well. Humanity is a scale, but there's a difference between somebody with 5 humanity that's a low 5 humanity and somebody with a humanity of 5 that's a high 5. They could be a 5 closer to 6 and still show some more of the humanity 6 traits by the book, even though they're a hard number of 5. But they could also be, pushing towards the lower end of 5 and being real close to a 4. Because I hate the hard number aspect of that. So there's little gradations. But yeah, Matthew would notice that Nicholas is a little colder.
Well, and then I would also imagine to that effect, it would be situational. So yeah, okay, maybe he's humanity 5, but he's going to be the 5 closer to 6, like you said, with Matthew, whereas he's going to be the 5 closer to 4 when he's doing like his coterie shit or his business shit.
Or dealing with normal people. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this about humanity and the way we play humanity. Humanity, you look at the scale of humanity points, basically from 0 to 10. When you get to the extreme ends, whether extremely low or extremely high, those are significant. Those are very noticeable if someone is high humanity or if someone is really low humanity, because everything they do ties into their humanity when they're at the extremes. But when you get people that are in the middle, say from about a 7 to about a 5, maybe even a 4, that's kind of the mid-range on the humanity scale. And there's a lot of blurring between those with how it presents in a persona. It's definitely like, because even though Jackie just lost to humanity, she went from 6 to 5. She's right in the middle of the humanity track. That's not a big shift. She's going to have a little more edge to her. She's going to be a little less situationally empathetic, because even at 6, she was situationally empathetic.
Yeah, it's
one of those things. It's very subtle. Lamar's was a little more dramatic because he went from that middle to slightly under middle.
Yeah.
With that diablerie he did. So his got just a little bit colder, but he's still situationally empathetic.
And remember, the rules write them because you have to have numbers with the rules. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're guidelines. They really are. Nobody's going to exactly act just like Humanity 5.
Right.
Nobody's going to be exactly what the book says is Humanity 4. They're guidelines, they're role play tips. There'll be slight differences. There'll be
because every kindred is an individual.
Use it as a recommendation and a reference point, and never be afraid to, if you're playing a character, to make it your own, as long as you're basing it off that reference point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Lamar showed it.
Yeah.
Gang members died. He's like, fuck it, we're just going to have some tryouts.
Humans really aren't that important to Lamar anymore.
We'll have tryouts. We'll get 4 more. I need some aggressive. We're going to do some aggressive recruitments with a pool stick. Those kind of. And that's how he shows his lower humanity.
And same with Nicholas. Nicholas dropped to humanity. Humans are less important to him now.
I'll spread this I'll give everybody the fucking leprosy and shit.
And that shows, because whereas like Jackie went from 6 to 5, humans are still going to be situationally important to her.
Yep.
Situationally. There's going to be more of, okay, what am I getting out of this human?
And that's a tip I'll give you as a storyteller who's been doing this off and on since running games since 81.
Well, I will say real quick, I'm sorry, but Benjamin Devil does say there are mortals who have low humanity.
Yes, there are.
So, but the mortal version of low humanity is different than the monster version of low humanity.
A low humanity human can still get it up and have sex, but low humanity kindred can't. My advice as a storyteller who's been I ran my first game in 81, Dungeons and Dragons of all things. Never be afraid to take whatever the rules are and use them as a guideline.
It's your game.
It's your game. There's some things you should avoid pushing too far because it makes it not vampire. But even then, if you want to, fucking go ahead and do it. It's your game. But otherwise, use the rules as a guideline and a general idea, but then, make it work for you and what works for you. And I'm waiting for the next question.
Yeah, and Benjamin asked for clarification because of the lack of the beast, and I just responded in Twitch chat,
Yeah,
yes. It's basically because of the beast. And mortals, they don't have that supernatural influence in them.
And they're still alive,
And they're
technically.
still alive, and they still have certain biological drives that function. When you are supernatural and you are basically walking dead, you don't have those drives anymore.
Yep.
And as you get farther away from that, from what you were when you were once human, it becomes harder and harder to mimic that.
Yeah, because you become less and less of what you were alive with.
Mm-hmm.
You could call it a soul if you're going to go with the whole world of darkness as a whole, because demons cannot possess a human being, or can possess a human being, cannot possess a kindred. They cannot take control of a kindred's body. Why? There is no soul for the demon to push out to take the body from.
So what are we diablerizing?
That's an issue. You are diablerizing the blood itself, the essence that made them them.
I'm diablerizing Capone's beast.
Oh, that you could do that too, but it's the curse of the blood. And going on that actually fits with Devilish Darkness' other question about, can a Lasombra use possession to get past the curse in my game? Yes, because the curse of a Lasombra is the blood. It has nothing to do with him.
Has nothing to do with the senses.
Right, it's the blood. So if Lamar took control of another body through possession, what is it? I forget the name of the power, but there's a power that lets you take over a body. Lamar would not have the Lasombra curse with that body because that body has no Lasombra blood in it. It is the curse of the blood that makes him have technology. It is the curse of the Ventru's blood that makes the Ventru the way they are. A Nosferatu possessing somebody doesn't make them hideous all of a sudden, because the curse of the blood made them hideous. If Jenny possesses somebody and Frenzy's in that other person's body, they don't grow whiskers.
Right. Right.
That only happens when Jenny frenzies with her body, because that's the curse of the blood.
And Craig Cajun says, supposedly soul, that it was a supernatural entity. And he also says, World of Darkness is very inconsistent on whether vampires have souls or not. And that is correct. One thing you will notice is that in general, all the various splats are not consistent with each other. Individual splats within themselves are not consistent throughout the books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And the additions, don't forget the additions.
And the additions are all inconsistent. So yeah, there is a lot of issues with that. And what we have done with all of that is we basically taken bits and pieces and made it our own.
Yep.
And that's what we suggest other people do, is take bits and pieces. No lore is hard and fast rule. Mm-hmm. Make it your own. Because honestly, they all, the saying is vampires are horrible historians, that they're inaccurate historians.
Unreliable narrators.
Unreliable narrators and all that. But yeah, I mean, because one thing, history is always told by the winner. Consider that. And, there's always more than one side to a story. So legit, take it and make it your own.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you play a game where you consider kindred have souls, great, do that. But in our game, because we add in other splats as seasoning.
Demon, wraith.
Yeah, wraiths, demons, mages. We don't really do too much changelings because,
at all, ever.
Because Bill doesn't really like changeling and doesn't really even understand the changeling system. So basically we use those as flavor to our stories, that we are kind of trying to find a common medium between all those splats. And for us, it is that what vampires are is basically soulless.
Yeah, and even then, it's not 100% true to the other splats.
Right.
If it was 100% true to the other splats, wraiths would be fucking able to murder any kindred anytime I felt like it. The demon fight would have been different. If you go strictly by the splat and try to put it in there, power imbalance is a problem.
Yeah.
So I use them as, even the splats are guidelines.
Yeah, they're guidelines instead of rules. But yeah, that's just how we do it. And so basically, yeah, and that's the thing. And Timberbrad has a valid point too, is that, you know, it's an existential question, and it is, and you can determine what your answer to that question is for yourself.
Yep.
And it's perfectly fine.
I mean, you could argue they have a soul because sometimes, rarely, a vampire becomes a wraith.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the wraith talks about is that's the souls of the dead. But I prefer to say that if they have a soul, it's so weak and so minor, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Because I use the demon part, which is the demons cannot possess a kindred because there's nothing to take.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if a demon possesses a mage, they have no magic.
Right. They lose their spark.
The magic is part of the soul of a mage.
Mm-hmm.
Take a mage's body, there's no magic left.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so basically with that, I want to open up the floor for the cast if they have any questions for their fellow players or storytellers.
I got a quick one. Any regrets joining the cast, anyone?
Yes, I get abused. No, I'm just kidding.
I like
Two
the pain.
newest people both are in other games of yours. So how would we have joined other games?
Yeah. And for those that don't know, Mischievous Red there is part of the Demon the Fallen
So
cast,
is Timberbrad.
which starts on May 31st. Timberbrad made the Demon the Fallen cast May 31st. Ivy Raven has made it. Jackie's made it over there, or Relin has made it. They're part of our Demon the Fallen, though you will not see Timberbrad until season 2
Until season
of Demon
2.
the Fallen. But
Because
season
we
1,
have cast our season 1 and season 2 with
Yep.
the applicants that we had.
yep. You'll see Timberbrad in season 2, but you'll see Mischievous Red, Ivy Raven, Relin Dare, all in season 1 of Demon, which starts May 31st. You know, there's me a little cheap promo sneaking that in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, I mean, we keep showing up every week, generally on time, so I don't think we regret playing your game, Shanky.
I don't know, because Roscoe don't apply to any others after being in Vampire. I don't know.
Roscoe's busy.
And Wraith broke me, so you know.
Roscoe has to do that work thing. And I mean, we all have to do the work thing, but his seems to be particularly demanding most nights. That's what happens when you demand.
I ain't demand.
Yep. So any other cast questions? Mine was easy.
I got one for Lance for Roscoe. It's like that. So the plan that Roscoe and Jackie came up with went off like a charm. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But now seeing the effects of that plan, like, well, it's a two-part question. One, did or does Roscoe care about Samantha at all? Is she just a means to an end? I mean, it's 3. And now that he sees the effects of that plan, is he having any second thoughts or regrets about putting it into motion?
Well, I started out by saying, well, you know, the way to think about my relationship with Samantha is, you know, you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And as my stalker, you know, I need to keep track of what she was up to. But, you know, people have a tendency to grow on you, particularly redheads. So as this plan has come to fruition and the blowback is just showed up in my shop, he's feeling a little ambivalent about just holding her at arm's length. He may be having some feelings.
Do you regret setting her up like that?
No.
So I want to say something real quick. Craig Cajun was commenting on the fact we don't have clan symbols. I'd like for us to go around the table and say what clans our characters are. Jacqueline Durand is a Ventrue.
By the way, you can also see it in the bio slides that are cycling in the top left corner.
They are in the bio slides if you read those, but let's just go around the table so everyone's clear of what our characters are for any new people.
Isabella Caputo, your typical revenge artist toreador.
There's nothing typical about Isabella.
I love Izzy.
Genevieve Schutz is of the clan Gangrel.
Roscoe Akers is Tremere.
Nicholas Bowens is definitely not Tremere. Clan Hikata.
Marcade is Clan La Sombra.
Yep. And when we stream them during the seasons,
They have
you
the
see your
icons.
clan icons in the top right of each player's corner. But for the
Over.
cast Q&A, this is really informal. They aren't their characters tonight. They
No.
are the player behind the character. So I don't put them up there because I feel it's better to let them be themselves for this one. That's where the joke of, it's everything's, everything's fair game. It's all fair game in this one because it's cast chat.
And Craig Cajun asks, going Necro or Shadows, Lamar?
Shadows, 100%.
Yeah, he started throwing Stygian Shroud around.
He's our shadow dancer.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So any other questions for from the
And
cast?
wait a minute, I want to point out, Lamar just got Stygian Shroud 2 episodes before the end of the season, and he used it twice in 2 episodes. So he got that power and just started laying that power down. He's like, God damn it, it's
my new favorite toy.
It's so
Just
useful.
wait.
Oh, so same exact thing with Nicholas and Necrotic Plague.
And Necrotic Plague, new favorite toy.
Roscoe just got clairvoyance right at the season,
Yeah.
during the season finale. He got
Yeah.
it. So now he's going to
I can't wait for Jackie to get that next level of freaking fortitude.
Already couldn't hurt her. Like, I was
No,
literally getting
then,
shot like
then
at point
people
blank
are going to
range.
hit her and they get hurt.
Just wait to look for Lamar's reaction to that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fun. So let's see. I'm trying to think. Questions for other cast. Okay. Oh, thank you, DMDM Studios, for rating
Thank
us
you
with
for
a party
rating.
of 10.
Yep, we are doing our live season 6 cast Q&A. We just wrapped up season 6 of Windy City After Dark, our Vampire the Masquerade stream, and we do these at the end of every season as a way for the viewers to ask any questions about our stream or our characters' plans for the future. I will let you know there is a season 7. It starts 3 weeks from now. Next week is the Windy City intermissions, which is between season content. The following week is our season 6 summary. And then, of course, we're back on season 7. This crew does not slow down. 3-week break is all we take between seasons, and then
Yep.
we're right back to
Right
it.
back into it. And trust me, there's stuff that's going on behind the scenes during the season break. So Devilish Darkness does ask, Lamar and Jackie, since Clan La Sombra screwed you over, would you consider trying to join Clan Ventrue? And Jackie, would you support him? Well, one, that doesn't work that way in Vampire.
Yeah, you can't join a clan.
You are the clan you're embraced into, whether you like it or not. Unless you happen to be Kaitif and clanless, or if you happen to be basically thin blood and not a kindred. So
Thin blood, they can Diablo. For those that don't know, a thin blood is somebody whose blood is so weak, it's 14th, 15th, 16th generation. Their blood is so weak that they're not truly a kindred. But if they Diablerize someone who is a kindred, they will become one. So if...
Oh, that's only if they're 14th gen thin blood.
Well, yeah. No, they can even at 15th, they can jump and get it. Because 14th, the rules say technically there is a chance to have a 14th gen Kaitif. A chance. Yoda won't see it, but it's a chance.
Yeah.
But if a thin
it's
blood...
that 2% chance that
if a
Gavin
thin
was
blood
talking.
comes in and Diablerizes Roscoe, you have a brand new Tremere
Yeah.
and one less Roscoe.
Yeah. Or basically Roscoe just got himself a nice young body to walk around in. But
You skipped over Benjamin Devilwood said about Diablerizing lower gen
oh, hang
has
on,
a risk of
I
taking
didn't
over.
see it.
That does have a risk of taking over. There's the problem.
Okay.
There is a chance if a thin blood tries to eat Roscoe to become a Tremere, what ends up happening is Roscoe has a new body.
Or if you are basically like in the case of Jackie just recently Diablerized Al Capone. He was 2 gens lower than her. He was an 8th gen, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was a risk if I had not rolled well during the Diablery that Jackie could have lost all her humanity in the roll and basically become a new body for Al Capone.
Yep. Then Al Capone's old body would have dissolved and his consciousness would have subsumed hers.
And
he
taken
would have
over.
been Al Durand.
Yeah, that is always a risk with Diablery. And we go into it as players knowing that there is a risk that this could be the end of our character and our characters become SPCs at that point.
It would be stupid to Diablerize somebody like Portia.
Portia. That's
Menelaus.
so low.
Cratius even.
Yeah.
Diablerizing somebody of that much
Their
power.
fucking pools to resist that shit is so fucking high that you're likely to not succeed.
You're likely to give them a body.
Mhm.
You have a better chance of succeeding if you're humanity 8. The lower humanity is, the harder it's going to be, because the way it determines whether they steal your body is if they beat you in the final roll, for every success they have more than you, you drop an additional humanity. If they drop you to 0, they take your body and you're gone. So if you're humanity 4 and they beat you by 4 or more successes, you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you're humanity 8, they would need, 8 successes more than you to take your body during the diablerie. So Lamar's got to be careful who he picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if Capone had won, he'd have been Al Capone twice, because somebody had have gotten his ass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But no, so yeah. So any questions the cast have for other cast? No?
Nope. Well, we're just breaking 2 hours, so we're about normal for we're getting towards the end anyway. So
Does Ivy Raven, do you have any?
Oh, I don't know. I was just there's been a lot of decisions that were made this season, and I guess I was curious if anybody felt like they had a decision that they made that maybe they kind of wish they hadn't made. I don't know. And that isn't necessarily the case. Most people don't second guess what they do, or yeah. I was just thinking. So
I'm trying to
The
think if I had one.
the outcomes of decisions I've made are not as intended, but I don't regret the choices I've made. I did not. So case in point, I've said this, I know, at least on the cast end before. When I said help or be patient to the ghosts from the madam, the intent was not, oh hey, help me out. It was more, oh hey, wait your turn. I'll deal with you in a second. And Shanky just fucking took it and run with it. So I don't regret making that decision. The outcome was not as intended. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, no. I don't regret or would change any decisions Jackie made throughout the season. In the moment, they were perfectly in character for her to make those decisions. And it was something that she made according to her own motivations, her convictions, and her state at the time. So
I see there's not a lot of regret at this table.
Most people don't. I was just curious because I know I will do anything and then I will kind of second guess or nitpick it. So that's why I was just thinking that might be a decent question, even though I can't necessarily sit here and go, this is the decision I regret, because I felt like I handled a lot of stuff actually really well. There's some lack of interactions and things probably later that I probably didn't, but those are even whatever. So
I am overly critical of myself, and I look back at every episode and think of things I should have done better as storyteller, better ways I could have handled certain scenes, better pacing I could do with certain scenes. And I've always got that because it's just part of who I am. I'm a perfectionist by nature. So I look back and go, I don't like how that one hit, or I don't like how that one felt to me when we were done. But at the same time, it's done. We did it. We can't change it. But I still look back. There's things, I felt I could have paced better, could have handled better, could have done in a better way. But that's I'm human. So, but other than that, I don't really have anything I wish I did different other than the normal things as a storyteller. Because as a storyteller, I look back and did I do what I accomplished or set out to do for that episode? And did I do it in a way that in the end, I'm 100% happy with? And normally it's 80% happy with it. I'm always looking to improve that 20%.
I already know the truth. Your one regret is not killing me in the morning like you tried.
And I tried. And I've really been trying to kill your character out of sit more than one douchebag.
All right, Craig Cajun does ask, do you interact with your touchstones a lot in game? Now, please remember, if you do have questions for us, use those channel points that you're accruing by chatting and watching our stream down at the bottom of the chat to highlight your message. It costs 100 points to do so.
I'm going to answer that with a thing. that the players know already. My policy on touchstones is very simple. Nothing will fuck players over faster than a storyteller who goes after their touchstones.
Mm-hmm.
The touchstone system in V5 is a fast way to fuck up your players. That being said, I give the players the choice. If you bring touchstones into the game, they are fair fucking game and they can be targeted, and you have made a choice for your story to include your touchstones. If you make that choice, then you know the risks when you bring them in. Jackie has her touchstones. Etienne is a touchstone.
Yep.
Isabella has one. Emilio, that's a touchstone. If you bring your touchstones into it, you know the risk by bringing them in. They became fair game. Nicholas has a touchstone in. That's Matthew. If you don't bring your touchstones in, that's fine, because I feel it's too easy for storytellers to use touchstones as either gotcha mechanics, oh, I'm going to get the players tonight, or as a way to sabotage your player's story in ways that the players have no real defense against. There's no way to stop a storyteller from fucking over, touchstones that give them stains, whether they intended the touchstones to get harmed or not. So I don't do it unless the players bring it in. And Jackie made a choice. Relin, the player, made a choice. Etienne's a touchstone, central part of the game. That was her choice. Isabella, her choice. Nicholas, his choice. That's how I do it.
Yep. So some of us have touchstones that are not even in the city, much less really involved in the game. Some of us do have touchstones that are very close to our characters. Jackie has one touchstone that is very close to her, but her other two touchstones, they're just contacts and they don't really come up much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically I only play a little bit with fire on her with that. And even so, I've invested a lot in that touchstone ghoul that I use for her to make sure he's hardy. So basically it's one of those things. I put a lot of my character's XP into that ghoul to make sure he's hardy. But yeah, it's one of those things that, it's totally up to player discretion. And I'm sorry, Craig Cajun, I will not ask your question because there is a hard red line from me on weaponized non-consensual body modification, basically Zamichi bullshit, trying to edgelord shit. I see that as torture and it is not allowed in our games. So.
Yeah, stains are storyteller specific. I'll just give it that. And there's no hard and fast rule.
Yeah, I know, for example, the example said that there's some of the characters their touchstones aren't necessarily in the city. Genevieve, all three of her touchstones are still in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
She will go on business trips. That is my way of explaining that she is interacting with her touchstones or checked in on them or whatever. One of them is an employee for her. One of them is a reminder of her past, and actually two of them are reminders of her past. So while I'm not interacting with the touchstones, I didn't want to bring them to the city because I also felt like it didn't make any sense for a character coming to a city to suddenly have like hard and fast touchstones.
Yeah.
I know a lot of games they'll say, well, you find touchstones while you in your course of play in the city and but like for the Genevieve character, I don't feel like she's necessarily looking for touchstones because she's always, I know she's probably sick of it, but she makes those comments about, I'll get on the plane or the Chicago is going to be in the rear mirror eventually, stuff like that. Those are not me or the character trying to be shitty towards Chicago. It's showing the character's mindset.
Yeah, that's not where that's not where the things important to Jenny are not in Chicago.
Yeah, but so like for her, the touchstone element of the game is something that she's not interacting with on a like weekly basis or something.
Yeah, it's
so
I have firm beliefs in touchstones, and it's exploitable by storytellers in ways that aren't fair to the players at the table if the storyteller just willy-nilly does what he wants with touchstones. I will never claim to be a fair storyteller. That's not my job. My job as storyteller is to make good story, not to be fair. Flat out. Sorry. It is not to be fair. It is not about fairness. It's about good story. And fucking your players over with gotchas and imminent peril of their touchstone every week, that's not good story. That just gets tedious and it's not fair to your table in ways that it makes the game hostile to your players. Don't make the game hostile to players. That's not how you have players coming back to play.
You have a question, Gavin?
I do for the cast. 2 SPCs that you're looking forward to seeing in season 7,
Ooh,
past or
that
present.
one. I like that question. That's a good one. I want to see this one because I'm storyteller. I'm gonna make notes.
This also includes you, Shanky.
Oh, see, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Let's get, is this for me? I know while they're saying, everyone else is thinking, does this include SPCs that have not come up yet at all? Because for me, are you including ones that I'm wanting to add to the story this coming season?
Yes.
I'd say I'm really interested to see what happens with the Madam personally, just because like don't have a lot of information to really go off of with that. I'm also kind of interested in seeing if Val comes back in a bit because like she disappeared, she came back, and we kind of really haven't interacted. We've had a lot of other stuff going on. We haven't really like touched back on like what happened, like where did things stand with that. So I think that would be. I think that's what I would like to see.
I've got news for you. There's a you have a good chance of some of that stuff.
I know I do. I have good ideas.
So outside of, I have more than 2, which is really a problem. But real quick, obviously, Madam, because I think that would be great. Zal, just because everything tied with Zal, and then Alessandro, and Zal's always been one of the NPCs that I always liked. So I just want to see more. But then very specifically things that got touched on at the beginning of the season and then haven't really been doing anything with are Lillian, Vivian, the Wraiths with Sylvester, and then Victor, the buddy I made in Milwaukee.
The other Victor. Got it.
Yeah.
Because you got to be careful with that. Yeah. Yeah. There's too many Victors there.
Yeah.
I get
Too
it.
many Nicks.
I know. Trust me.
Too many Nicks on the dance floor. Sorry.
Nick. Well, you got Nick the Dick. You got,
So we need to cut down the number of Nicks and Victors next season is what I'm hearing. Got it.
Yeah, you already want to cut to Victor. I'll answer next one. The Madam I am looking forward to. And the other I'm looking forward to has not been mentioned since season 1. Edward Neely.
That guy.
He is ex-Sabat. He is, he was Sinshaw for a while for Loden. He was a Sabat turncoat spy that later on snitched on the Sabat for, to secure his thing. Yeah. So, yeah, those are the 2 the Madam, because I just find it as a storyteller, she is a great storyteller character to move story through. And then Edward Neely, because with the Braden stuff coming up and Capone coming down and outside interference from Gary, I think this guy that used to be Loden's Sinshaw, there's some good story to be told there to tie back in with the Coteries, multiple storylines from the Coterie. So those are my 2.
For me, well, Samantha and Tracy are part of my current major plot line, so I'm not going to count them really as the SPCs.
It's valid.
But I'm really interested in seeing the Madam because Roscoe knows about her tangentially from being in DC, and as a player from DC, I'm really interested to see how she translates into Windy City.
Yeah, you remember from DC. She won't be exactly the same. It's been years since then.
Right.
And some of the events in DC had an effect.
And Dr. Benway. Haven't seen him for a while. Need to find out what kind of crazy stuff he's got for me.
Yeah,
now.
Jackie.
Jackie still needs freaking.
Jackie's got a statue.
Yeah, Roscoe
Yeah.
and freaking Nick to come by and see her statue. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, because Benway's shop of cursed antiquities, Jackie bought a statue from there. So, yeah.
Okay. So I know one SPC I want to see for sure is I'm looking forward to seeing Erzule again. I think I'm saying that right.
Yes, Urzula.
Because that will be a trigger catalyst for possible story stuff. One way or the other.
Yeah, that's not a pretentious name or anything, naming herself after a goddess.
Is that I don't know all of the references.
It's totally a name of a goddess.
Okay.
Urzula
you know
is
what?
a great character. I'm just gonna say. I
More
love
power to her. So I mean, shit, my character's named Genevieve, and I did that because it sounds like hoity-toity.
Yeah, but we've got Nero and Urzule, both in Clan Toreador.
No, okay. Yeah. Clan Toreador is pretty
Hey, whoa there, let's take a step back. We hate Tremere, not Toreador.
No.
Hey, wait.
No. We love Isabella. We hate all these other fucking roses, okay?
Names that match the clan.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure on another secondary SPC. There's a part of me that almost feels like in the back of the player's head, and even I guess in a sense Jenny's head, she was thinking about the Bobby situation and what he had said in Elysia. And so there's part of her that almost wants to like get the measure of the man that is Duncan McTavish. But like, that's one of those things that is, she knows if she wouldn't just go and like shake his hand. She would actually like snoop into it some. So, but that's almost probably a second SPC in a sense that she's kind of curious about a little bit, if that makes any sense. To see, realistically, she'd love to see like Melina again and Amelia and Tatiana because they're all fucking fabulous. So, but yeah.
I know Verlin loves when I bring Amelia into story. Just she loves seeing Amelia. So.
Oh, Amelia, Melina, Tatiana. The Venture women are amazing in this city.
So who else has people they're looking for? Because I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
For me, Khadija, because I think that Lamar has gone all season without seeing Khadija. And what was the other one? Strange as this may sound, I'd just like to see Martin again in some capacity, whether it's delivering a, hey, she's still okay, or, something like that, because, I feel like Lamar is like covertly checking up on Destiny, but he really doesn't have a way.
He's probably asking Jackie, you heard from Destiny?
just hey, Destiny call you yet? Anything? Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. I see it.
Goes home, makes a mark.
I see it.
Makes me want to just talk to Lifesaver about doing a guest appearance one season just to pop in briefly before disappearing again.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? I do actually have a player question, a cast question.
I think
and I know
has
this
everybody
asked-
done
No,
their,
no,
who they
everybody's
wanted to meet?
answered yet.
I thought everyone did.
No.
Verlin hasn't.
I haven't.
Oh,
For this season? Shit, I don't know. I mean, there's only like 5 fucking SPCs that Jackie likes. Let's see. Probably. I'm looking forward to maybe a scene or two with Arjun, because that is a very interesting character. He is very high up within the cult of Mithras, but he is very young. So that is an interesting character. How did he get where he is, kind of thing? So quickly, you know?
Mithras rewards loyalty.
Yeah, well, he was also in the right place at the right time. And he kind of got sent the shit job. But it's but yeah, no, it that would be interesting. To see a little bit more of him beyond just the pater of the cult, to get to know him a little bit more. And Tracy. I really think at some point Jackie and Tracy need to cross paths because I think they'd be new BFFs.
Yeah,
Yo,
I gotta
that would
say,
be insane.
there's a lot of parts to Tracy that have never added up.
Yeah, I really think they would be new BFFs. So yeah.
She showed skills she shouldn't, that don't make sense for her. Like when Lamar and her were in the bar, she was a lot better than Lamar at sneaking out of the bar unseen.
Tracy?
Or no, sorry, I was thinking Kathy. Sorry. Tracy is stupid, powerful,
Yeah,
and dear
I know.
fucking God.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let
but
you just hang out with
I
Tracy.
am actually looking forward to playing out a little more of Jackie getting closer to Kathy.
Because Kathy is
Kathy's
at a lot of
very,
things nobody
she
knows.
is actually interesting as a toreador. And I know Jackie has occasionally kind of shit on her a little bit, but that's because that's what Kindred do.
Oh, yeah.
It's really nothing personal for Jackie with Kathy. It's just what Kindred do. But
Tracy, I will never let you get too close with Tracy. She is too powerful of a kindred in the city.
She's awesome.
But she is, I'll be honest, she is one of the most powerful kindred in the city if you go by the Chicago book. And
yeah, but
because
she's
of
like
that,
so awesome. Her personality is like fucking fire. It's great.
She has the ability to shortcut, circumvent a lot of story.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful at
I know.
allowing
Can't
players
have
to
too
draw.
many OP
Right.
fucking associates. I know.
Exactly. So
I
you have to
know.
be careful with that one.
I know.
Even with Roscoe, she's not, I mean, she talks with him, buddies with him.
But she's not like doing a whole
But
bunch
you'll
of
notice she
favors for
hasn't
him.
really done anything. I mean, he's got a stalker in Samantha. She's connected with the mages.
She
She has
hasn't done
not
shit
taken
about
one
it.
step to stop the
Right.
stalker.
Right. She
'Cause
ain't
it's-
done shit about it.
She's trying to stay out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could she? Yeah, she could have some words with people that the cabal in the area would snatch her up short.
All right. So now, Morgan, ask your question.
Oh, I was just curious how Lamar's ventriloquism lessons are going.
With the skulls.
With all the skulls.
What is Lamar doing with
I
the skulls?
thought he lined them up like a xylophone and had him a bunch of little ballads, and he would play. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts on the skulls. That's
My
what he would
name
play.
is Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the mambo beat. No, just kidding.
Either that or you would do Deo. Deo. Deo.
Well, I thought we covered this, but Lamar actually, like, he has them on the mantle in his haven, and he has running conversations with them as he goes in and out of his haven for like the evening. Yeah, he will definitely have running conversations with them.
Lamar needs a friend.
Well,
See,
He's
that
got
reminds
5 of
me-
them.
that reminds me of if you've ever played, anyone out there's ever played the game Demon Gaze. There's a character in there that collects skulls, and she names each one and talks to each one and gives them whole life histories. Yeah, Lamar's like that.
Yeah. Lamar needs a friend.
see, the last time
fine.
this question
Yeah.
was asked, you were like, they're doing things or whatever. Like you didn't say
You
you
didn't
talked
say
to
what.
them.
I
So
thought he was skull fucking them.
God.
yeah,
I'll put it out there.
Humanity 4, that's too much effort. But
That's
he
too
does
much effort.
but he does constantly remind them of how they fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
I know. I
I
can see
can
that.
see that.
Whenever the conversation gets a little heated and they start getting a little crazy with them, he lets them know, hey,
He goes
Hey,
to leave.
it's just too bad there was really no trophy for Capone.
Look, when he goes to leave the house, he looks at him and says, "No, y'all better stay right where I put you. Don't move.
Don't
You
move.
know what happened last time you fucked around. Don't find out again." He walks out of his house.
yeah.
No, see, the real trick is that they just skull fuck each other and he just watches.
That's going to be his new line of work. He's going to open up his own
And
website
on
for it.
that, I think we're going to close it
He's going to
out.
call it. He's going to call it Bonely Fans.
Oh God.
And on that, I think we're going to close it out because
I
there's no
just
more
gave
questions.
Lamar's ideas. Bonely Fans. So, as always, as we end this, of course, join us on our Discord. So, this cast was cast from the Discord. There was an audition for this show. This cast here auditioned for this show. This cast here made the cast, and that was from our Discord. Our demon game coming up, that was coming from all our shows come from our Discord. So if you're on the Discord and you want to play with us in games, you apply to casting calls. As a matter of fact, we have casting calls still open for 2 of them. One is Kids on Bikes run by Ravnos Archon, and
The other is Dune
another is Dune, using the
by
Motorfist
Ravnos Archon.
2D20 system, which I ran for Cthulhu or Cult, or was it Octon Cthulhu, as part of my Cthulhu Wars miniseries. But he's going to run Dune on this channel, and I've already applied to it. I'm thinking of being a Mentat. That should be interesting to have Shanky the Mentat.
Bene Gesserit.
So we're going to see how this goes. If I get cast in it, so you know that even though I'm Shanky McStabber, I'm not guaranteed to be cast in a show I apply for on my own channel. That is up to the one running the game, not to me. So just so you know, but please join the Discord. You might get to play with us if you want. And even if you don't want to play with us, we got a cool group of people over on the Discord. We do a weekly Zoom hangout open to all members of the Discord, no camera required. It's normally Fridays or Saturdays. We alternate on the weeks, which week is what. And it's just a chance to hang out with people from the Discord, hang out. Sometimes cast members drop in. Sometimes they don't. Last night we had, it was Saturday. We had Mischievous Red was in with us, and we just hung out and chatted. Timber Brad was there, and Ivy Raven was there, and Relyn and I, and we hung out and just chatted with the people on the Discord.
And we have a diverse community that basically spans the globe.
And every game known to man, pretty much.
And there's interest in just about any TTRPG out there, as well as other interests in the community. And it is a very warm, welcoming, almost family-like community there.
And we do those. And it seems to be about quarterly. We do a non-streamed community game of Blood on the Clock Tower. It was monthly, but we realize monthly's too often.
It burns people out.
It burns us out. So about every 3-4 months, we do a non-streamed Blood on the Clock Tower over Zoom. Fun game. Of course, if you want to catch our back episodes, pop over to YouTube. At the time of this airing, we were almost to our 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
We were 8 away.
We were 7 away.
7 away. Oh, we got
7
one
away.
more. Nice.
Yeah, 7 away from hitting our 1,000.
Please
So
give us a free sub on YouTube.
Yeah, give us a free sub on YouTube. We're just trying to get that 1,000, just,
to get that done.
To get it done with. You want to check out some amazing content creators? We've got a list of friends over here. These are people we support and who support us. One of them right here in the center screen. She's the center square of our tic-tac-toe game, and that is Mischievous Red. She streams over on her channel, and she also streams on another channel she plays TTRPGs on, and I know she links it from her channel. You can pop in and see her over on her channel and get all those good deets. And you'll even hear her scream from time to time as she gets scared in games because, well, that's what happens when she gets startled, but she loves getting startled.
Hey, let me tell you something. Shanky does the same thing. He screams like a little girl when he
I jump 3 feet. I vertically clear 3 feet in my chair without standing up. That's all.
It's
goes,
fun
"Oh,
to get
God!"
scared. It's fun.
You want to catch your season 6 Windy City merch? Not just season 6, but our Windy City merch. We got mugs, t-shirts with Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would, Camp's counselor.
You do have to be logged in on Zazzle to see that shirt because it is rated basically for adults. So you have to have an account and log in to verify your age.
And then
so
you
that
can see it and order it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to make sure. So in the stream, bits and donations, they go to the players. That goes for all the streams on our channel. Bits and donations always go to the players in the stream, never to the studio. If you want to support the studio, that's what subscribing here on Twitch is for. If you don't want to deal with the pimp that is Twitch, you can pop over to our KoFi and give that. That's the way to pay the studio for the cost it incurs doing this, honestly.
And we get all of that.
And we get that. But for the players, bits and donations are for the players because we do enjoy doing this. This is fun, but all of us know it's not free to do this. There is a cost associated, costuming, outfits, equipment, there is a cost. It's just the nature of the beast. So we don't ever force anyone. We never sub-block or lock anything behind our KoFis and donations and bits. But if you want to give back, you can. And actually, I think I covered it all and can give it to my wife for the schedule.
I'm double checking.
Oh, I did. I think I got it all this week.
Yeah, you did. Wow. Okay. All right.
It's a shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Okay, so first off, I want to say he probably isn't tuning in or watching this, but we want to say happy birthday to one of our Discord members, Power Puker. That is actually our son, and we want to wish him a very happy birthday today. And then coming up over the week, we have on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, the stunning finale of season 2 of Werewolf the Apocalypse, Phoenix's Call.
They went in a Worm IKEA.
That's on my birthday. Y'all want to come see us? That's probably my gift. My character's going to die on my birthday.
They went in a Worm IKEA and they got their asses handed to them, and it was not by anyone in the IKEA. The Worm IKEA itself was whooping their ass.
I'll be turning 44. I'll be off work that day and the rest of the week following, and my character's going to die, and that's my present because then I'm going to get drunk.
Hey, she might be nice. She might kill you quick.
It's fine. Then I'll just start drinking on stream. We're fine.
Won't be the first time.
Won't be the first time.
It won't be the last time around here. This is an adult stream with adult people, and we drink.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think I was the thing that was kicking everyone's ass. Unfortunately, not the demon IKEA.
Yeah, pretty much.
You did frenzy.
my Galliard made pretty quick work of those demon IKEA people. So
I don't know. I thought it was pretty hilarious that Drop Stitch Witch literally tried to climb the shelves and got her ass kicked by shelves. That session, we're making jokes because the last werewolf session, episode 6 of the season, had more botches in a single session than I've ever seen in any stream on our channel.
Oh my God, the botches were just flying. Oh my God.
I have never seen that many botches in a single stream, and that includes Steve Perry playing in DC.
Yo. That's great.
Yep.
That's insane.
So that's on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Come check out that finale with us that night. Yeah. So then we have on Saturday, I believe. Yep. Let me double check. Let me pull up my schedule.
As far as I know, they're back.
As far as I know.
As I know.
Yep. As far as I know, Tiss is back. So we have Tuesday is Werewolf, 8 p.m. It's also my birthday. Thursday, there will be no stream, but I'm going to give a shout out to Great Cthulhu because that's his birthday, or their birthday, sorry. And then on Saturday, we have Tiss back with London Esoteric Society at 3 p.m. Eastern. It is our Call of Cthulhu 7E stream set in Victorian London. Yo. Them players at her table, man, I don't know how Tiss does it. They are all chaos goblins, and they want to like summon elder shit, and they just want to do all the bad stuff that's insanity inducing and like world ending. And she's just like, yo, I don't think that's a good idea. But they're like, but it's fun.
She had to cancel yesterday's episode, and I was mad because I was wanting to see Augustus come back because Augustus is the Stone Cold Steve Austin British version, and I loved his character, and damn it, yeah.
And coming up on the 29th, I actually have to fix the schedule I posted in Discord because I had them switched. The 29th, on next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, Shanky will be streaming the Windy City Season 6 intermission, which is Decker's Memoriam.
Decker's Nightmare.
Decker's Nightmare of when Tracy came up in his joint with a mage on her arm and fucked his night up. So
that will have myself, Ravnos Archon, and Junie Von Esch in it.
Mhm.
And it is going to be, we haven't recorded, we record that tomorrow night, and then we'll air it Sunday. But I've seen what the
what
players
their
are
plotting
planning,
is.
and holy fuck.
And then, of course, I know I'm going a little over a week, but I want to let you know we have Demons starting up on the 31st of May at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is not this week, but next week on Tuesday. You want to tune in for that if you want to see how our characters, how our demons took possession of their mortal bodies.
May 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Episode 1 is going to be who these demons were, what they did, who they were before they fell,
It's
and then you'll see their possession of
it's
their
all
body.
little scenes of the possessions and information on these demons that we are going to be playing for the rest of the season. So you'll want to tune in for that little sneak peek of what's coming.
What led to the human losing their body to a demon? It's going to be we have finally recorded them all. We've got them recorded. I'm assembling them for airing because while Demon will be live, Demon the Fallen is going to be 100% live stream. The very first episode is pre-recorded due to the nature of these scenes.
It can be very triggering for some folks, so we're going to have content warnings before each scene so that people know if they need to tune out during a scene.
And it won't be in episode 1, but there's a good chance in episode 2 when it's fully live, we will do a giveaway of the Demon the Fallen hardcover book.
Yep, because we like to give shit to our viewers and our community. We love you
Especially
guys.
at the start of a brand new chronicle. We will give away, that would make it, let me look at the date so I can even tell people now, because I don't think people knew this. This is a new thing that's being announced. On June 7th, the Demon the Fallen stream on June 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Will be a giveaway.
We'll have a giveaway of one hardcover edition of Demon the Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your chance to get you a hardcover edition of it. Won't be the only giveaway. We'll be giving away those off and on throughout the whole season.
Yep.
So
that is the rest of the month's streams coming at you after today. So we hope to see you back.
Yep. And as always, everybody, we here at McStabber Studios, we take mental health very seriously. Please check in on your family, check in on friends, check on loved ones, check in on those around you. I don't even care if you don't even fucking like them that much. Check in on them. Check to see if they're okay, because a lot of people right now aren't. And sometimes it just takes one person reaching out to be that voice, that lifeline, that rope they need to keep them off the edge. And if you do suffer from mental health issues, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. Our society really needs to normalize the fact that we all have mental health issues. There's no stigma should be attached to it. We all have them. We all deal with them on a daily basis. And by talking about them, we have a chance to fix it. So if you suffer from mental health issues and you can't reach out to those around you, chat right now has a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And somebody on the other end will be there to listen, to be that lifeline you need, because mental health is health. And we want you to be around whether you watch our show or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to turn it over now to my wife, because there's a part that she does at the end of every episode.
Yep.
That's how much we care about things.
So with that link that is in chat right now for Find a Helpline, I just want to let you know that is a resource that actually has listings of helplines for various issues in over 140 countries. So if you are outside of the U.S., please utilize that resource. Also, if you work for an employer that has an employee assistance program, utilize that. It's part of your benefits. Legit. They can't tell your stuff to your boss. It's confidential. And they can help you. They can even help you find providers in your area to help support you longer term. So please use resources available to you, outreach to folks you know support you, and do what you need to take care of yourself. We are never an island unto ourselves, y'all. Seriously, no matter how alone we feel, there are people out there that are willing and happy to help. Always. I, Mama McStabber Relindare, am a registered nurse. Been one for a long time. Timber Brad here is also a registered nurse. Been one for a while. Please, please, please. We're already getting upticks, even in states where there's a high percentage of full vaccination and boosting. Please, because of new variants, because people are just being fools and don't want to get done what they need to get done, please, please, please.
Please get your goddamn shots.
Please get your goddamn COVID shots. Because just testing every week doesn't do shit to stop COVID. It just lets you know if you got exposed and have it. It does, if you've got the actual virus in your system. So please go get vaccinated against it. Let's please stop this shit. Please. I'm tired. I'm real tired, y'all. Real tired. And I know millions of nurses are tired. So please. Okay. It's way less, exactly. Craig Cajun's like, it's way less painful than a standard shot. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if you really are worried about the pain, literally join our Discord, send me a DM. I have secret nurse tricks to make that shot feel like nothing.
We can kick you in the nuts and then you can get the shot, and I guarantee you won't even notice
It
you got a
ain't
shot.
even that. It's all about how you position your arm, and I can tell you the secret.
You won't even notice you got a shot. You'll be so much in pain, you don't even know you got a shot.
But yeah, and also, I, Mama McStabber, used to work in reproductive health in my local health department. I did a wide variety of jobs at my local health department. I was kind of their Girl Friday and Jill of all trades because we were always short-staffed, and I was a very capable nurse, and so they put me in every fucking program at the health department. That's called frocking, and it happens all the time in healthcare. And so basically, I really, I don't give a shit what your personal beliefs are about abortion. You have no right to tell me or anyone else with a uterus what the fuck to do with theirs. So, legit, fuck the Supreme Court, fuck Texas, fuck Alabama, fuck most of the southern states, fuck some of the Midwestern states, and everyone else who has fucking trigger laws in effect to go legal to ban abortion as soon as Roe and Casey are overturned. My right to make private decisions about my reproduction and my body should not be optional. So, legit, if you think that's wrong, that it should be right that folks that have no business being all up in folks' uteruses telling them what to do with it, you can mosey on off because I don't need you in my fucking world. And y'all have a wonderful day. And really, though, really.
Oh, and fuck Putin.
And fuck
I'm not
Putin.
done.
Oh, yeah.
I am not going to stop saying fuck Putin until
Fuck
he
Putin.
gets the fuck out of Ukraine. Fuck Putin.
Mhm.
But do not take it out on Russian people in your community. Do not take it out on Russian-owned businesses in the community. They are not the ones who put Putin where he is. They are not the ones who make Putin insane. But fuck Putin.
Yeah.
Until he stops, fuck him. That's all.
We get a little bit political, but it's not even politics. I mean, like the pro-life and pro-choice thing, it ain't even politics. Literally, pro-life is not actually for life. It's for forced birth because legit, I have seen on social media pro-lifers talking about the freaking formula shortage and saying that, they should just breastfeed. And I'm like, really? What are you doing to help these moms that are trying to feed their babies? What are you doing? So,
throw Mr. Cultus, we throw F-bombs.
We throw F-bombs. I don't give a fuck. But yeah.
If you can find me a vampire episode on this channel without an F-bomb,
fuck is my favorite word.
Show you somebody else's vampire because it's not ours. We F-bomb every episode of Vampire.
Yeah. But no, seriously. I mean, it's human rights, y'all. It's human fucking rights. And they are wanting to violate it. They don't give a fuck about children. All they care about is keeping people poor, desperate, and reliant on the fucking oligarchs that run our fucking country to work as basically for peanuts. So yeah, everyone that's pro-life can just fuck right off.
Yep. So I thank you all for coming, and thank you for this wonderful Q&A that we've done. Remember, next week, we will be back here. We do vampire content at 5 p.m. every Sunday. There is only one Sunday I know of that we won't be doing vampire content, and that's in August. But you can count 5 p.m., set your fucking schedule, set your clocks, put it on your calendars. We will be here 5 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. So I thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.
Night.